It's even testimonials. Or just give them a call. 800-281-3189. Ask them directly. They'd love to hear from you. That's 800-281-3189. Or just go to harmonsolar.com.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
80% of youth in Arizona don't drink, smoke, or use drugs. Want to know the reason why? It's you. Kids say not disappointing their parents is one of the main reasons they choose not to drink or use drugs. Visit TalkNowAZ.com because while you might worry you aren't getting through, you are. Keep it up and stay up to date about the latest Arizona drug trends at TalkNowAZ.com. This message is sponsored by the Substance Abuse Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
Hey guys, Jeffrey O'Brien here. Did you know Harmon Solar has gone super high tech? There's an amazing tool at harmonsolar.com that'll give you an instant ballpark solar estimate using satellites from space. You just type in a little information, and within seconds, you'll have an idea of just how little money it takes to save big on that monthly electric bill. I did it, and within seconds, they measured my roof and calculated my savings. It's very impressive. Go to harmonsolar.com and give it a try yourself. That's harmonsolar.com.
Live from the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale.
Here we go.
This is KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's Tuesday here on the Daily Blender. Your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale on National Gin and Tonic Day. I would not drink a gin and tonic. I mean, a national gin and tonic, I think the appropriate thing to drink is a whiskey. Not so much a gin or a tonic. But turns out there is a manly reason for the gin and tonic to exist. I've always kind of considered the gin and tonic as kind of a girly drink, because I've only known girls that have drank them. But it turns out the gin and tonic was invented by some British officers and some people at the East India Company when they were there in India. I guess malaria was all over the place. And so they created this thing, quinine, and they had to put it with tonic water, but it tasted bitter. So what they did was they mixed some water, some sugar, some lime, basically created the gin and tonic. And of course, the army officers would get the gin as part of their rations.
And that was something they used to help combat malaria for a long time until they got a proper, cure for it. But anyway, so yeah, gin and tonic was a medicinal purposes sort of thing that the British Army had to come up with.
Well, I guess you know what that means. I have to go get a gin and tonic now.
Do you really like that?
Oh, yeah.
Somebody
no,
tried
I
to give
like
me a
it.
gin and tonic once. I'm like,
I like the gin and tonic.
Just give me some whiskey.
No, I like the gin and tonic. I like the whiskey. I like the gin and tonic.
How about you, Keon?
Yeah.
You like a
got
gin and
alcohol
tonic?
in it.
Okay, I was going to. How does it taste to you guys? It seems kind of
Tastes good.
just.
I like it.
Tastes like gin and tonic.
I don't know what it is. It's about it, but it just doesn't work with my mouth.
You got to get enough lime in there. You got to get a little squeeze of lime in there. That helps it go down.
How about a squeeze of whiskey instead?
Well,
That'll work
I
for
mean,
me.
that also
always
works.
whiskey is the great way to go. Yeah.
Oh, hey, looky here. The Cause is on the text line, and he says, I just want to start the show on a high note. I humbly accept the bracket challenge win. I'm honored and will accept your forced adulation. Well, I'll tell you what, you're getting a lot of forced jealousy because the Cause right here is the one who won
What
the
did he say?
Harman Solar 1580 The Fanatic bracket contest.
What did he say? Adulation?
Adulation.
Mhm.
What? Did I
No,
say it wrong?
No,
No, I thought it was something.
you said it correctly.
What else would it be, Randy?
Well,
what
there
else
was
would it
another,
be?
There was another Asian in there, and I don't want to say it on the. I thought you said
You
something
thought we were going to
else.
some forced ejaculation?
Oh my God! There it is.
That
There
just
it
doesn't
is.
make any kind of
There it
sense.
is. Forced.
Cause no
oh
reason
my
to
God.
force us for that.
Well,
Uh,
I mean, there it was.
Just saying. Anyway, so yeah, Cause won the $1,580 from Harman Solar, and our second place winner, Nathan, he's got himself a $500 gift card to Kasai Japanese Steakhouse.
No
and
kidding.
hey, to the jackass who was calling Harman Solar and the Fanatic and bothering all sorts of people wondering what would happen if you won the prize, guess you bothered a lot of people for no damn reason. Maybe next time, just sort of hang in there and wait and take my first answer, which was an email where I said, don't worry, if you win, you'll be notified. Long story. Anyway, so congratulations, Cause. Congratulations, Nathan. And Random Texter was close. He was in third place right there.
Random texter was.
Yeah.
Wow.
He gets nothing. I don't think Ready to Run ever came up with the 30 pack of beer. So
Now wait a minute.
yeah,
I thought there was a 30-pack of beer involved here.
I thought so too, but it was never confirmed by Radio Ron. So I think that if we see Random Texter, we just need to buy him a beer. I think that'll probably be good. I think that'll be good.
I think it's a good idea. Yeah.
We never promised it. We said we thought maybe it would happen.
Yeah.
So
I like that. I like the studio audience likes that. Yes.
hey, and guess what? I mean, listen, this is the best year I've ever had for a bracket. Not my funny bracket, but my serious bracket. I got 15th place.
Hey, congratulations.
Yeah. I got 120 points off my my bracket. So I'm pretty happy. I don't think I've ever done that well. Ever. And Randy, you did pretty good too. You're in 39th place. You had 108 points.
Hmm.
Why aren't you clapping for that? That's for you.
I
Clap
don't
for you.
care. I really don't.
And look, McMama, she says, "Oh, I was so close. I was in 5th place." Yes, you were. I see you right there, 139 points.
Very impressive.
And then Ralph, his serious bracket, he got 80th place. And
You mean to tell me I beat Ralph?
you beat Ralph.
Well, then I'll give that a clap.
He got 78 points. Sorry, Keon.
It's
The
all good.
college
Oh.
basketball expert on the show
Oh,
got 134th place and 41
Sorry.
points.
Sorry, Keon.
Which means you only did twice as good as my really, really, really bad idea to do the vowels thing. Remember, the team with the least amount of vowels wins, got all the way at the bottom. Third from the bottom with I only got 26 points. Ralph, he was after that with 19 points. There's only one person that was at the very, very bottom, and I'm not going to say their name because I don't want to embarrass Brian Sniff. I just don't want to do that to the guy.
Congratulations, Brian.
So
So again,
not
Brian,
saying it.
Brian, just the biggest GCU believer. That's how he got
Yeah.
there.
Good job,
his
Brian.
Whole, his whole
No.
bracket was GCU.
That's not
wasn't it?
true. He only
No?
had him for 2 games, and then after that,
Okay.
he'd moved
Then
on.
I'm confusing him with somebody else. I'm sorry.
He just had
Congratulations.
really, really bad luck.
Congratulations, Brian.
Sometimes that's
You
all it is.
lost. Good job.
You genuinely lost.
Which is
And-
interesting because Brian at the very bottom of the bracket list and Brian at the very top spelled the same with a Y.
Wow.
Not a
Oh,
common spelling.
No kidding.
That's a little bit freaky. I'm going to throw the paper away now.
Mm. And there it is, ladies and
Case it might be
gentlemen.
cursed.
Ladies and gentlemen, there it is.
I don't need that in my life.
Our final what, like some sort of bracket thing that we're doing this year?
Yeah,
I
Randy,
lose
all
track
this
of
time
things.
it was called the Harmon Solar
Yeah.
1580 The Fanatic NCAA Basketball Bracket
And
Challenge.
there it is. Thank you, Jeff. Go. Thanks for the assist there. There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Been saying it for like
our
3 months.
Our final bracket thing of the. Are we doing another one soon?
Well, probably next March. The next
Okay.
time we do a contest like this, it'll be for the NFL. We're not doing anything else for that.
All right.
That's the last contest for a while.
So I don't have to worry until
You didn't seem to worry until then. So I think you're good.
September. Right?
Everything's fine.
Okay.
So last night, I sat down and I watched the game. Thank God I did it at home. Thank God I did that at home.
Why?
Because the State Farm Stadium was the absolute dumbest, worst place to put that basketball.
Well,
game.
yeah. I mean, okay.
You
right.
would just be sitting there like, I think something's happening. I think something's happening way over there. Well, if you want to really see the action, watch the bigger screens. Still, I mean, it looks like
the bigger screens are also all the way down
Yeah.
there.
if I were sitting in State Farm Stadium, right, and I grabbed my phone here and I started watching, what I see here would be bigger than anything I would see with my naked eye. Meaning,
it was
it's
an
just
insane
silliness.
stadium. Yeah.
So
At
what I'm
least-
hearing you guys say, this is a bad experience. Don't do this again.
well, anybody who was there last night, you can back us up on this unless you got really good tickets. Everybody else was just kind of like, why am I here? I get to hear
Well-
people cheering, I think.
Radio Ron's buddy that was with us Friday said that he went the last time that we had it in Phoenix.
You mean Eddie?
Eddie? And you couldn't see anything.
Eddie's awesome.
You
Well, Eddie's kind of short, so I'm not sure if he's seeing anything anyway.
Yeah, but we're talking about this stadium and basically this same situation again. I don't think your height matters when you're up in the nosebleeds and this.
Oh, I know.
Can I ask a question?
I
mean, you
just
guys
like to
know
rip,
how
I just like to rip on Eddie.
You
Okay.
guys know how I feel about going to live events unless I absolutely have to.
Mhm.
Why would you pay so much money to go to this event and sit in section 3998 near the top of the ceiling? Just to be there? Is this a thing?
Yeah,
Is it-
that's the thing for a lot of people. Is
Because
like
you
the
could say
atmosphere
you
of
were
it.
there.
Well, yeah, but then also you can feel all the energy
Feel.
in the building and
Look, I've got
I
surround
mean
sound.
that
I
game wasn't the game to feel it. I mean,
can feel
yeah,
all
watching
sorts of
one
things
team
in surround
murder
sound.
another team, but if the game's
mean-
really close, then you're everybody's into it, even though you're
Can't
far
I
away.
just have
You know
my
what? Yeah.
7.1 surround sound?
Exactly.
And, feel like I'm there
you,
anyway.
you absolutely can.
You turn it way up, and then
Yeah,
when the
70
commercials come on,
like-
you hit mute,
Boy, hit mute. Yeah.
and then you're sitting there. You can scratch your own nuts, and then nobody calls
Right.
security on you.
And I don't pay $20 for beer. And
Yeah, I'm
Miss
not.
Kim will make me all sorts of goody snick snacks.
There
Oh,
are
yeah.
plenty of reasons not to go, but you asked the question, why does anybody go? And I'm giving you the reason why
Yeah.
some people
So
go.
the reason is just to say, I've been there.
Yeah, but I
So
got to
some people
scratch
do
my own
that,
nuts.
and some people like to just be like it does feel different in a building when a big game's going on, and to be a part of that and to feel that's a lot of people like that rush.
I had better seats. I saw the game better than probably 75% of the people in that place.
I didn't watch the game. I actually watched
Murder, She Wrote.
No, I have it on Farrago. I
Oh,
have the
okay. That's good.
Murder She Wrote on there. I could watch it at any time. But I was watching videos about making a brisket. I'll be making a brisket this weekend. So
That's a good choice.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
a good choice.
yeah, yeah.
But I did. I did watch the game, and I enjoyed it right up until the second half. And after that, it became very predictable and exactly everything Keon said it was going to be. There was absolutely no surprises in that game.
Mm. 15
and-
point
yeah.
victory.
No, they were only up by a few at the half, and then
Yeah.
UConn just exerted their will, I guess, in the second half. Keon, any comments on this?
Yeah, just Donovan Clingan proved to be a pretty solid even match for Zach Edey, and then Zach Edey still got his. I mean, I think he scored 33 points or whatever it was, but nobody else was able to get going. They didn't send any help to stop Zach Edey, and that was enough.
Yeah, I'm looking at the starters here. He had 37 points. Only one other person had more than 10, and that was Smith. The rest of them, just languished. And then you look at the UConn Huskies. They spread it around. You had one guy with 20, another guy with 15, a couple guys with 11, and it really just the energy and the intelligence level of the way the basketball was played. UConn just had it all day. Now, part of the problem for Purdue is once they started to slip behind, you could see they were forcing it. They were just forcing it a lot of the time and getting discouraged. You could see by the body language. That game was won in the first half by UConn. In the second half, it was just given away for the rest of the way by Purdue.
It seemed like Purdue just tried to do what they could to get the ball into Edey, but they couldn't. UConn had an answer for Edey in the second half, and they took the ball out of Purdue's hands, and they clearly, as I thought, a lot of people thought, I'm not a savant here, but a lot of people in basketball thought UConn was the better team this season. And I'll tell you what, I mean, look out in 2026 or 2025, because I feel like UConn's going to be back again.
It's not like who's actually back, though.
It's not like they rebuild; they just kind of reload, for the next season.
And it was smart basketball. As they said, they didn't have to worry about Edey. They shut down everybody else, and that is how they did it. And it worked. Sure enough, worked. But even then, as much as they did that, they also got into Edey's head pretty good, I thought.
They did, but the guy scored 37 points, so he did what he could do. But the issue was he didn't have help at any time Purdue has ever lost. And one reason why in my bracket I didn't have Purdue making it this far is I don't think that they play very well from behind. And any game where the guards aren't playing well, it's kind of over for Purdue.
Here's how bad Purdue was playing as far as guards. They had 1 3-point shot actually make it in. One. And they only took about 5 or 4 or 5. I think it was 4. So not a great second half. I was really hoping it would go down to the wire and be really exciting, but all right.
And it was just a bad shooting night for Purdue because they're normally a much better 3-point shooting team.
Yeah, they won a game the other day by just raining threes.
Another reason why playing a basketball game in a football stadium probably not the best idea. The size of the building actually makes the basket look further away. It's an optical illusion. Your depth perception is just thrown completely off. So you practice in that building to try and get used to it again, but not every team gets back in their rhythm when they're looking at a basket that just physically appears further away than it actually is.
It's interesting. I had no idea about that.
Yeah.
So anyway, there you go. And Mike, can I just say this? Am I the only one who thinks that Dan Hurley is kind of a jackass?
He's a jack. Why? Why?
I don't like his personality.
I didn't get that feeling, but
I'm going to give him all the props for winning 2 in a row. But when I'm listening to him give his little speech and talking and he's trying to be funny, I'm just like, well, this guy's kind of a jackass. This guy is just, I didn't care for him. Is it just me?
I do. Yeah, I didn't really have a strong opinion on him either way.
I mean, have they been running basketball for 30 years?
UConn would like to believe that. Yeah.
Well, you believe that?
UConn has
they've had moments. I mean, and they've won 6 titles in the last 30.
Yeah, he rubbed me the wrong way. Just his personality. Now, listen, he's got 2 championships in a row to back it up. So, all right, I'm not going to give him a hard time about whether or not he's a good coach, but his personality just didn't seem like a gracious winner. He was, I don't know if he was just sometimes when people try to be funny, it just, I don't know.
I think he was just talking to UConn fans.
I think he's like told, my son's going to enter the transfer portal because I wouldn't let him play enough. This kid went, what the hell, Dad? He just gave him a look like, what? I didn't do that. What? I don't know. Moist One says, not just you, Jeffrey. Okay, good. So at least it's not just me. I mean,
I don't
I
know.
get it.
Like, it just seems like at worst he's not as funny as he thinks he is. That's not the worst thing to me.
Well, then he's starting crap with Edie for no reason. He goes out on the court and pushes one of his players like, go. It's like, and the ref is like, dude, you can't do that during the game. And just I kept seeing stuff, and I'm just kind of like, I don't think I like this guy.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I just the coach stepping onto the thing and trying to push his player to start the play because the player didn't see what the coach saw. He's not the first guy to do that. So maybe
I know, but I'm just saying, you put all these things together, and I'm just kind of watching. Remember, this is the first time I've really paid attention to this guy, And I'm watching, I'm like, oh, this guy's an a-hole. I think he is. And you know who I like, though, is that Spencer kid. That Spencer kid was everywhere doing everything. He had 8 rebounds, and that's like, he's a guard. So he had fire. That kid
wasn't he the player of the game?
No, that was Newton.
Newton. Okay,
yeah,
but
Newton he was playing out of his mind. But
yeah, he did great. He had 20 points.
Cam Spencer had a great night too. And I'll also say Stephen Castle. He had a great tournament, not just this game. He actually probably helped his draft stock a lot over the course of this tournament.
Pineapple Express says, do you really want to be in agreement with Moist One? I just needed somebody to agree with me about Dan Hurley maybe being a jackass.
Wow.
Bear Claw says, from what I read, they're saying Edie might not go early in the draft. I don't think it's because of this game.
Yeah, he was never going to go early in the draft, though. Like, he was always going to be maybe late first round, like in the 20s somewhere.
Yeah, so now you got Edie. Everybody was talking about no championship. Caitlin Clark, everybody's talking about no championship.
Oh, she had Caitlin Clark had a championship, didn't she?
No,
she did not.
Sophomore year?
No,
because I thought she won the sophomore year.
No, she didn't. Freshman and sophomore year, she played really well, but she didn't win anything. They went to the national title last year, where they played against LSU. LSU beat them.
Well, I know that.
And then this year, South Carolina beat them. So, no.
Moist One says, Diana Taurasi's old ass is going to get lit up by Caitlin Clark.
I mean,
just her behind.
Keon's the only one who can actually
yes,
comment
but
on this.
Because Diana Taurasi was just saying, and people are taking this as her being a hater, and it's not. When you're a rookie playing against professional basketball players, it's not going to be 30 a night for you. There's an adjustment period because these people are professionals and you're not yet. And so she's like, just it's going to be tougher. That's all. And people took that to mean that she was jealous and bitter and all of this other stuff. And so now everyone's looking forward to the Diana Taurasi Caitlin Clark matchup, even though Diana Taurasi is, and I cannot stress this enough, 41 years old. Like, she's not going to be guarding Caitlin Clark at the highest level. I'm sorry.
Moist One says she was bitter because she was whooping UConn.
No, not really. Because if you read the actual quote, she doesn't mention anybody specifically. She's just talking about the rookies that are going to be playing in the WNBA. That's it.
Moist One says, you see too much good in people, Keon. Yeah, probably.
I mean, maybe, but in this particular case, I just think that every league does this to rookies. Nobody wants to just be replaced by a rookie, so you trash talk rookies. It's not just her, it's everybody.
Listen, we got to take a break. We come back, we'll get caught up on the text line. We got more college basketball stuff to talk about and a whole shload of other stuff, too. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Get insights into the sports betting market with VSiN's betting splits. See where the money is and keep updated on how the market is reacting. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
Major League Baseball tonight, the Diamondbacks in Colorado to take on the Rockies. It'll be Merrill Kelly going up against Cal Quantrill. The Diamondbacks minus a run and a half, minus 120 on the run line. Rockies getting a run and a half, plus 100. On the money line, Arizona minus 184. The Rockies plus 154 with an over-under run total at 11. NBA tonight, the Suns hosting the LA Clippers. Phoenix a 7.5-point home favorite, minus 280 on the money line. Clippers plus 230, over under 226.5. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Volunteer now. Help vulnerable and oftentimes overlooked children in Arizona. Court-appointed special advocates, known as CASAs, are assigned to children as advocates during their experience in the foster care system. Volunteer now. You can change the life of a child for the better. Visit azcourts.gov/volunteer to learn about court-appointed special advocates. That's azcourts.gov/volunteer. This message is sponsored by the Arizona Supreme Court.
O'Reilly. Protect your vehicle's engine with Syntec and O'Reilly Auto Parts. Syntec Premium Full Synthetic Motor Oil is formulated for today's engines to dissipate heat and friction and reduce wear. Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select filter for just $33.99. Limit supply. See store for details. Get Syntec only at O'Reilly Auto Parts. O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Going to college and not acquiring debt is possible with the help of the U.S. Army. You'll be able to choose the career you want and receive help to pay for your full tuition. There are also reimbursements for student loans and GI Bill benefits. In the U.S. Army, your mission will be to learn. Learn how you can be all you can be at goarmy.com/AIA Sports. That's goarmy.com/AIA Sports.
Life is challenging and ever-changing. Take control with passive income through real estate investing. Learn how. Learn now. Let Dell Walmsley and Lifestyles Unlimited's investors and mentors show you. Meet Dell's team live in Phoenix 2 days only at the Embassy Suites Phoenix Biltmore. Saturday and Sunday, April 27th and 28th. Register now at GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. That's GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Enter promo code 2024 for a special discount offer. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Code 2024.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here, host of You Better You Bet, reminding you to check out the show. Now, why should you check out You Better You Bet? Because we bring you the most fun. We bring you the most insightful, the most entertaining show in the wagertainment world. From up-to-the-minute breakdowns of backdoor covers, bad beats, and the cheers and tears that come alongside them. Plus, you'll get the best betting analysis anywhere from myself, Ken Barkley, and some of the best minds in the sports wagering world. So tune in weekdays, noon to 3 on Arizona sports betting station, 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
Hey, Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. All right, we got a lot of text sitting here on the text line waiting on us, so let's go ahead and get down here at the bottom. And Pinocchio says, I give cause all my aggravation from the bracket challenge. Sorry, Pinocchio, somebody's got to win. Let's see, Dog Named Boo says, I love me some Bombay and tonic. Well, that's why it's Bombay. That whole thing, gin and tonic, was invented because of stuff in India. Beer Bob says, for a guy like me that knows jack squat about college basketball, I'm very happy with my 10th place finish. Yeah, good job, Beer Bob.
Hey,
Good.
congratulations.
Well done.
For you.
Well done.
Yeah.
Bueno bracket. Bruno Baller says, do you think there'll be the reindeer games Christmas in July again this year? What is he talking about?
Well, I think Gasai Japanese Steakhouse had a
casually mention a reindeer,
a reindeer's
thing,
name
and then
to win a gift certificate last year.
I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Nobody's told me nothing about anything. But usually what we do around here is we find out about things or wait until the absolute last moment. So you'll have to do the same.
The name today is Rudolph.
Ralph Has Crabs says, hi, guys, gals. That game yesterday stunk. Women's game was more exciting than the men's basketball game.
I haven't seen a game that bad since Vancouver Grizzlies were still in town.
Well, I mean, why? What do you think? I mean, look, Connecticut has been behind in the first half only once during this entire March Madness.
They trailed not in the second half. They never trailed in the second.
They
half
never
of the
trailed in the
tournament.
second half.
But
They were behind like once.
In the tournament total. I think they trailed for a grand total of 5 minutes.
That's it. They were just like they were a machine, and Hurley has got these guys playing like a machine.
How many of these guys are still going to be around next year, you think?
I find it hard to believe that a lot of these guys will be around next year. Maybe,
but they just they keep reloading. I mean,
yeah,
remember
that's
last
the thing
year
is because you get to some of these coaches, and Hurley's a fantastic recruiter. Obviously, you look at the talent that he was able to have on the floor with a Tristan Newton and a Stefan Castle and a Donovan Clingan. Like those guys, he's gonna have the replacements already ready to go. I don't know exactly what UConn's done in basketball recruiting. I could pull that up, but like Randy said, it like when you look at the peak of Alabama football, it's the guys are going to the draft all the time, but they're replacing those guys with great recruiting just as quickly, so they don't really ever fall off.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, three-peat has that been done? Has that been done in NCAA basketball?
If it has, you probably have to go all the way back to
black and white TV.
To John Wooden.
Look that up. I'm kind of curious. Pierre says, "Oh, hello, Keon, Randy, and Jeffrey. Glad to see you again for our full show today. Will there be more short shows in the near future? Maybe some free time for Earth Day, you pansies." Well, here's what we know. We know we got hockey on Thursday, and then in June, like women's baseball or something.
Women's baseball in June.
I'm doing the best I can.
just seeing what you can do. By the way, there is only one, and I was right. It was John Wooden's UCLA Bruins from 67 to 73. They won 7 in a row.
Oh, geez.
And that is never happening again. I promise.
Okay, so why will it never happen again?
The 3 can happen, potentially. I mean,
but why not 7?
But the 7,
why not?
I just think that the sport has grown enough that there are enough schools that are deep, and the tournament is big enough that you're not going to do 7 in a row. Even if you're the best coach of today with the best players, like the other schools are going to have good enough players, good enough talent, good enough coaching that they'll be able to beat you. Like one of the stretches of play that John Wooden had at UCLA was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Like you're just not getting that for 4 years in college anymore.
Never say never, but I understand what you're saying. I mean,
because if you have great players in today's game, after 1 or 2 years, they're going to the NBA. You don't get to keep a team together for 4 years like you used to.
Yeah, it's not like it used to be.
Scratch Me Because says, listen, if you're going to play a basketball game in a football stadium, size of the court should be the same size as a football field. 100-yard layup.
The lowest scoring game of your life.
Yeah, 100-yard fast break. I like
you're never making it back for defense. I mean, you're winded after 2 points.
I'm in. I'm good with that.
It'd be a 15-8 game.
Big George is making a point about the ratings. He says the women's NCAA basketball championship game outdrew the men's championship game by over 4 million viewers. Women drew 18.9 million, while yesterday's men's game only got 14.8. He says, I think it's because the women's game had a bona fide star playing in Caitlin Clark, whereas the men's game lacked that. Well,
and also an undefeated team.
Yeah.
Like why we keep mentioning it, we keep forgetting to mention that part. There was a team
that nobody mentioned it before.
38-0.
He says also the women's game was on ABC, regular TV, and that's available in more households than TBS. I don't know if it's 4 million people difference.
Oh, was last night's game on TBS?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, TBS and TNT.
Oh, yeah.
And he says, does this mean you guys will start talking more women's college basketball and less men's college basketball?
No,
probably no. In fact, here's the thing. Now, everybody's making a big deal about the ratings. This is huge. It's a NFL style audience for the ladies on Saturday or Sunday or whatever day it was. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. Listen, I'm not trying to take anything away from the ladies. And if the product is good and worth watching, yeah, I'll watch it. But you've got to turn this into something. You say, here we go. We had this and this. Now, so you got to learn what is the formula to get these kinds of numbers. Now, of course, you're not going to get these kinds of numbers because these kinds of numbers are championship game numbers. And even though they're NFL, style numbers, even the NBA is not getting NFL numbers every single time they play. What you got to look at, though, is, okay, what was it about Iowa and South Carolina that moves the needle for people?
Well, it was Caitlin Clark's last game. They wanted to see if she could win a national championship.
Do you think people really cared that it was her last game?
Yeah, I think there were a lot of people that were following Caitlin Clark. I mean, what she was doing was historic. She was breaking records. I mean, if you go back and look at some of the records she broke like it would look like at the ends of a blockbuster film, the credits at a blockbuster film. You could start with number one and start scrolling through them, and it would take about several minutes to go through all of the records she broke during her career at Iowa.
Is it all about Caitlin Clark, Keon?
I think it was about Caitlin Clark. It was about Caitlin Clark and the fact that it was UConn women's basketball, known to be a juggernaut of women's basketball.
That was the Final Four matchup, actually, which that one had pretty good ratings too.
That's right. That's right. I'm sorry. It was also about South Carolina being undefeated.
Yeah,
this is a team that the last time these two met, Iowa beat them in a game, and they wanted to see if Dawn Staley and the South Carolina Gamecocks could beat them.
And Caitlin Clark was, quite frankly, pretty disrespectful in that game the last time that they played. So, she said she regretted doing it afterwards. Like she didn't want it to come across that way, but it was. And so there's some bad blood there, and I do think that people were watching. There were people who were watching to see if Caitlin Clark would lose and rooting against her. And so the fact that she got to the finals,
why?
it just
why do people not like her?
I don't it's just the same thing that they do with every athlete. They build them up, and then you reach a certain point where people just start nitpicking at you and finding various things to pull you down with. And so with her, that's what that turned into, especially when, you got a lot of other fan bases kind of jealous because despite the fact that there were talented players on other teams, she sort of ended up being the face of everything. And so I guess to answer your question of like, how can they continue to do this? I think they've got to be able to pull all those storylines together and go, look, this is where the bad blood is. This is where, the team is on a streak that we haven't seen before, and try and play into the historical nature of some of the things that some of these players are doing, because the fact is that sport, the women's side of it, is more talented now than it's ever been.
And this wasn't the only game that drew high ratings. The women's national championship game, also the women's game between Iowa and LSU, a repeat of last year's championship game.
Well, that was the disrespect game. That's
Angel Reese was a part of that game, and Caitlin Clark, and people wanted to see what the retribution was going to be. And of course, we know now that Iowa beat LSU and sent them packing. So.
I don't know. You see this, and everybody's like, "Wow, look at this!" And then they want to guilt everybody for not watching women's sports. Yeah, I see all these T-shirts they're wearing about women's sports, and it's like, listen, I get it, and I don't need you to wear an activist T-shirt to try to get me to watch women's sports. What I need you to do is put a good product out there, and it's watchable, and then I'll watch it. And if this is, if it's all about Caitlin Clark, she's going into the WNBA. And so now what, did women's basketball in the college level become unwatchable again?
Well, no, because it never was just about Caitlin Clark, which is the thing that I hated the way that ESPN chose to do that the most, which is by making it all about Caitlin Clark, there's going to be a fall off when she goes to the next level. So there's one, but two, there's also just more people than her playing really well. Like, no, it's not going to be unwatchable next year.
Yeah, it's true.
That's true. Because there are more talented players that are moving into the sport. There are more talented players that haven't entered for the draft. You know, the UConn Iowa matchup, which included Paige Buckers. She's a really good basketball player. She did not put her name in to go to the draft. She could have, but she chose to stay. So she's going to be a part of it next year. She'll probably be the person that you know, the ESPN goes after to try and pump up as the big star. But I think that I don't know that I like that route of it, because it does kind of it doesn't build the sport enough. It makes it about one person, and it's not just about one person.
Well, this 18.7 million viewers was an 89% increase over last year's LSU Iowa game, the one that was famous for the disrespect, as you said, right? So I don't know, maybe something is bubbling. Maybe you look at it and say, what caused all this interest? Was it because we had a couple of gals who wanted to kill each other, and it became interesting for some reason? You know,
I don't know. For me, it's not just that. Like, there's a part of it. There's like, you know, Caitlin Clark had a rivalry, I think, with a lot of people, not just Angel Reese, but that was the biggest one.
Yeah, but she was the only one with the fake eyelashes.
Well, she wasn't.
Maybe that's it. You need people wearing fake eyelashes.
She wasn't the only one.
We gotta find the formula, Keon.
If you have black women in the South playing basketball, they're gonna go out there with the lashes. That's just what it is.
That's true.
That's just
sure
what
there's
that
white women with some fake lashes too.
I'm sure there is.
Especially some Italian
I'm just telling you, on LSU alone, there were three people with the lashes on the team. So like, that's not. I'm not going to just pin that on Angel Reese. Is my point. That is LSU as a team. That's just how they roll. So I just think that's you know, like the sport has a lot of the things that when I watched the men's game growing up, the men's game used to have that. The women's game has it now. The men's game doesn't. It's characters. It's stories.
The women's have more drama and characters to it than the men's game. The women's
game, because
what did I say?
You have to stay.
Women's, they got all kinds of character.
You have to stay at least 3 years before you move
It
on.
sounded like that.
You get to know these people. You know what I mean? Like in the men's game, we're talking about freshmen show up. They have a great season. Good for them. Kentucky had Rob Dillingham. I would love to have seen what Rob Dillingham could have done at the college level as he developed, but he's going to go to the NBA this year. You don't have those teams that continue to repeat that you do that on the women's side.
Hey, Randy, you reminded me of Spock from that first Star Trek episode when they're standing there on the transporter pad and energize, and all the men are still there and the women are gone, and all of a sudden Spock just pauses and goes, "The women." I don't know why. It just reminds me of that.
Like, what do they forget them?
Oh my God. Bear Claw says, I watched the last part of the women's championship game. Why didn't Iowa try to screen for Clark to get her free and shoot? Iowa coach looked like a deer in headlights.
Well, they did try to screen for Clark, but you know, Raven Johnson was guarding her. I don't know if you were watching. Raven was fighting over all of those screens. She didn't want to switch, and you don't go under a screen against Caitlin Clark. That's a real bad idea. That's a way to give up 3 points. But she was not going to switch ever, and she was getting over all of those screens. Right? They were screening.
They were trying to, but they couldn't. Raven Clark was very motivated after last year's game when Caitlin Clark waved off on her when she was shooting that 3-point shot.
The Cause says undefeated South Carolina versus undeniable Caitlin Clark. Would Clark get her championship? Lots of storylines people could grab onto. That's
well, there were, but what I think what Keon and I have been trying to say is there's no more characters in men's basketball. These guys show up for a year or two, and then they move on.
Could be why, yeah.
And with the transfer portal, they don't stay in one place for a long time. They move along, and people lose track. I think people lose track of these players when they enter the protocol if they're not being followed by a network like Big Ten or SEC or ESPN. If they're not playing in the limelight, people lose track of these players. And I think people, gravitate toward players. They gravitate towards characters. They gravitate towards a team that has characters on. And I think that's why the women's cast was so highly rated. Caitlin Clark didn't enter the protocol. She was there since a freshman. Paige Becker's been at UConn since she was a freshman. She's been hurt a couple of times pretty seriously, and it was a great storyline.
Fifth letter says Juju Watkins.
Juju Watkins. She could be the next one that they
could be.
Try to make the USC face of it too. She could score in her sleep. My God, I think she had a 40-point game earlier.
Yeah,
this season. So yeah.
Niner Annapolis says, I've heard that Caitlin Clark has some additional offers, for example, to play the Big Three or even lucrative offers to play in a rec league for multi-millions of dollars. Curious if Keon's heard about any of this and his thoughts. Offers seem to be more lucrative than the WNBA itself for her. Well, yeah, we talked about how the Big Three has floated her a pretty chunky offer.
Yeah, and they've tried to set it up so that she could still play in the WNBA. Because 3-person basketball and 5-person basketball just a little bit different. There's just the extra 2 people means there's a lot of different things you can do.
Follow the money
defensively. But yeah, I don't know
what's
what
that
she's going to choose to do.
Play against less people for more money.
But yeah, I get the feeling that she wants to try and continue her legacy and to be able to break more records. So I think you got to go to the WNBA to do that. I think that's important to her.
Paul the Plug says, why would Caitlin Clark play for the $86,000 in the WNBA? Well, I'll tell you why. Because with that will come, ads, commercial money.
She's already in State Farm commercials.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
but there'll be more.
The money that they say is the NIL money just becomes your ad deal money when
exactly.
you go to the pros. So you make less money in the WNBA, but you also are still making State Farm, all that other stuff.
She will, at least. All right, we got to take a break. We'll come back. We'll get caught up on the text line, 888-368-1580. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580.
When you get nachos, tacos, empanadas, spicy queso with jalapenos, Pepto-Bismol's there. Pepto-Bismol provides fast, effective relief from nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, and diarrhea. All the things that can happen unexpectedly on vacation. So before you travel, pack the Pepto. Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Everybody's got a podcast these days. Comedy, politics, true crime, you name it. But how many actually teach you anything useful? Harman Solar has an entertaining podcast that is vital if you've been thinking about looking into solar, but you don't know where to start. Ralph and Ben explore the intricacies of utilities, equipment, processes, and more. Their primary objective is to educate and empower you to make informed decisions on your solar journey. So increase your knowledge, not your bills. Go check it out right now. It's the Harman Solar Podcast at harmansolar.com.
What's keeping you from learning the language you've always wanted to speak?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make learning fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. And in 10 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons are designed to get you having real conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
That's not long.
It's not hard.
It's perfect.
It starts here. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every basket, every game, every point, every play, from the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a three-pointer at the buzzer to tie the game, or a player goes 2 for 2 at the foul line. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342.
I'm an Arizona truck driver. I deliver food, medicine, supplies, and hope.
And during times of crisis, I support our communities. But every day I see people putting lives and families at risk.
Distracted driving is deadly, period. Be aware, be safe, and visit sharetheroadaz.com and find tips on how to drive safely around trucks.
This message is sponsored by the Arizona Trucking Association Foundation.
AZ Preps 365, your source for all the news, info, highlights, and more. Athlete news and interviews. Talk with coaches. Keep you up to date with the changes, moves, upcoming events, and more. AZ Preps 365, Arizona's ultimate prep sports show. If you miss a minute, you miss a lot. AZ Preps 365, Saturday mornings 8 till 10 on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com. 1580 The Fanatic.
Danny Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Let's get caught up on the text line here. Average Joe says UConn is the greatest basketball college ever, especially considering both men and women. Okay. I mean, I
That's-
can't argue with any of what you're saying.
That's a hard. If you're going to include women's titles, it's hard to make an argument against UConn. They've been so successful.
Yeah. I still think Dan Hurley might be kind of a jerk, though. I'm just saying. Sometimes people rub you the wrong way. Maybe he's, there's Mother Teresa, then there's the Pope, then there's Dan Hurley, and everybody thinks that, water can be walked on. But I see him and he's talking and he's doing his thing. I'm like, look at this jackass. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Moist One wants to know, would Caitlin Clark get drafted over Edie? Well, they're not going to be in the same draft.
So,
I think Caitlin Clark's going to go very high in the WNBA draft.
She's
probably
going to be the first pick.
Yeah, probably the first one overall.
She's going to be the point guard for the Indiana Fever, but I don't think so. But I don't know. They don't play together. Ball is different. 3-point line's different. Bunch of stuff. So
Rough Rob is not interested in college basketball right now. He wants to talk about Tiger Woods.
All right.
He says PGA should drug test Tiger before he takes the course this weekend. It's a lot of walking for that man. Well, why would you automatically think he was going to take drugs just to be able to walk? If they give him a golf cart, he better have a designated driver, though. Yeah, they're not going to give him a golf cart, right?
No, I don't think so.
And the Masters don't do that.
And no one's going to drug test you for pain medication, which is probably what he would need. So
he might need to be drug tested for. He thinks he can win it. Now, here's the thing. Of course, you want him to think he can win it. Here's what he said. He's like, well, if everything comes together, I can get one more jacket. He's ready to win. He wants to win. He says the ankle doesn't hurt anymore. It's fused, so that's not going anywhere. That's fine. Other parts of my body, they'll have to take the brunt of it, he says, but I'm ready to go. He's like, I know I was going to try to do a tournament a month, but then, that didn't work out because it didn't feel good. But he's like, but I feel good now. I'm ready to go.
Well, I mean, of all the courses on the tour, I would have to say Augusta is probably one of the most challenging because
6-mile walk up and down.
Well, and it's extreme up and down. It's built on the side of like a mountain. It's all sorts of up and down hills, and they're extreme. TV does not do it justice.
He said, don't forget about the weather, Randy. Tiger Woods says, I ache every day. I prefer it to be warm and humid and hot. And he says, I've heard we're going to get thunderstorms. So at least it'll be hot. It won't be like last year.
I mean, it's kind of cold there right now. They're expecting rain on Thursday or Friday. And it's going to be kind of cold in the mornings, and it'll be pleasant in the afternoons, but it's not going to be warm and humid. And Tiger Woods has had no less than 4 discectomies on his back. That means fusing the back. And also he's had the ankle surgery, which has fused bones in his ankle. And when you start fusing bones together, that means that you're putting stress on other parts of your body. Now, Tiger's it looks like he's in amazing shape. I mean, he doesn't have Dunlap's disease like I do, where his belly Dunlaps over his belt. He doesn't have, he doesn't have weight issues. He's very trim. It looks like he's very toned. He takes good care of his body. But the bottom line is, I mean, the guy is he's a walking, he's a walking experiment. He's got more iron in him than the Pittsburgh Ironworks. The guy's got pins and things all over, braces all over him, in his leg, his knee, his back, and we'll have to wait and see. When you have that kind of, you have that kind of surgery history, being out there when it's kind of cold and it's wet, it's not good.
But I will say for him, he's not crazy to think that he can win it. He's won it 5 times. The last
he's
one was,
won it 5. Yeah,
the last one was 2019.
Not this
so,
version of.
Well, I would say.
Well, the 2019 one was a surprise. Is all I'm saying.
I wasn't surprised. I called it.
I'm looking at Hideki Matsuyama and I'm looking at Xander Schauffele. I mean, those 2 guys to me seem to be the guys you need to watch this week at the Masters.
I agree. I think that if you were to bet on Tiger, that's just a way to give the sport book your money. So do what you want. If
Tiger
with that.
wins, congratulations.
But in terms of his mindset and him thinking he can win, I can understand why he would come to that conclusion.
Well, Tiger Woods is
ahead.
120 to 1 long shot.
And don't forget Rory McIlroy going for the Grand Slam. He needs this to win the Grand Slam.
So right now the favorite is Scotty Scheffler, and then Rory after that with John Rahm, Xander Schauffele, Brooks Koepka, Hideki Matsuyama, and Jordan Spieth. Those are your favorites right now.
Yeah.
But Tiger Woods way down the list, 120 to 1. So who do you guys going to pick for this?
Well, I'm picking Hideki Matsuyama, and my dark horse for this would be Xander Schauffele. He always plays amazing there.
I'm going to go with Xander Schauffele and Scheffler because last time I did that, I made a lot of money betting on it. Might have been accidental, but it worked. How about you, Keon?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Rory to finally get over the hump. I think he's been playing better lately, and I know this means a lot to him to get that career Grand Slam. So hopefully he gets it done, but we'll see.
Oh, I wish my fellow Irishman well. But got to go with the Schaffels. I feel I've had a lot of luck with that. So anyway, 888-368-1580. Just another face in the crowd says, I don't have the Dunlop syndrome. I do have furniture disease. My chest fell into my drawers.
Yeah, chest or drawers disease. Yeah.
Jet says, Randy is called the Dicky Doo disease. Yeah, I was thinking that, but I kind of like his Dunlop better.
Yeah.
He says, the Dicky Doo is where your belly sticks out farther than your Dicky Doo.
Yeah.
Ralph Has Crabs says, I wonder if Caitlin Clark will pull an Eli Manning and refuse to play for the Indiana Fever so she can play in the bright spotlight of LA for the LA Sparks.
No,
probably not. Probably not.
So.
And she's got a good teammate waiting for her already. The number one pick from last year. So no, I would run from that.
Moist One says, you have Ed Zachary disease.
Ed Zachary disease?
Well, I know somehow is going to say something exactly. I don't know. It's going to be dumb, whatever it is. He hasn't typed it yet. Against the Spread says, I told you guys that UConn would win it all. I told you that before the tournament. And if you listened, you cashed a futures ticket for plus 420. That is 2 years in a row. I've given you guys the tournament winner. Bam.
Jeffrey and I were on UConn from the get-go, from the drop.
Yeah.
Weren't we?
Yep. Yeah, he said it before the tournament, though.
Oh, well, didn't we? I mean, I
don't know. Now I can't tell if he inspired me or I inspired him. Either way, I'm okay. Fifth letter says that girl Paige Buchers is a baller too.
She is, but wow, she didn't show up in the game there.
I thought she played pretty well.
She played pretty well, but I mean, Caitlin Clark was not going to be denied.
Yeah, but so I'm just
she got denied a championship.
I just don't think Paige is the reason why. Like Paige did her part. I thought. Caitlin just went supernova in that fourth quarter. Just go, okay.
I think you're right.
I don't know what you do there.
Quiet Cannon says Caitlin Clark is a trendsetter in her sport. Other college women basketball players are now going to copy what she's doing, and a sport will move to a higher level. Case in point, Tiger Woods and golf. Well, here, I'll even make your case in point better, Quiet Cannon. Let's talk about Steph Curry and the 3-point shooting. I mean, when he showed up and started really killing stuff, every kid out there started emulating a lot of the stuff that he did. What happened with Odell Beckham Jr., one-handed catch, and all the kids started doing one-handed catches.
Until he stared into the sun.
Yeah, then that all went to hell.
Yeah, it just went to hell right there. Yeah.
I saw the video you were talking about. Oh
it's impossibly stupid. It's like your eyes are literally attempting to tell you they are in pain. Stop staring at the sun.
He should not have a driver's license.
And then he blinked and stared again.
Yeah, he should not be allowed to,
like an idiot,
to operate any equipment.
Oh my God.
So Moist One says that his face looks exactly like his ass. Oh, that's really unfortunate for you, Moist One.
So my face looks like my ass?
No,
is
his
that what
does.
Moist One's saying?
No, he said it about his own ass.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. All right.
The Jet says, I got to attend the game yesterday in Glendale. They put on a spectacular event. I'll say, though, the parking and pricing for food and beer is completely ridiculous. $38 for 2 beers outside and $34 for 2 beers inside. It's crazy.
Well, you save $4 inside the stadium.
So, Jet, did you have good seats, or could you see what I'm talking about? How bad? Unless you were within basketball or arena range, like where you normally sit.
Right.
As you go farther and farther back, those seats could not have been good. So, Jet, let me know your experience on the seats. Kiss the Cook says Caitlin Clark doesn't need to declare. She can shop herself to the highest bidding team. I'm pretty sure they got rules.
There's a draft.
Yeah.
You go get drafted.
Yeah.
Big George says, did Randy say he suffers from Munchausen?
No. Dunlap's disease.
Or Munchausen syndrome by proxy?
No. I don't do anything by proxy. I show up for every damn thing, George. You should know that by now.
I'm probably the only person on the planet who really enjoyed the Baron Munchausen movie. What was that called? Baron Munchausen. That's what it was. The Terry Gilliam movie from like a long time ago. Like Uma Thurman's first movie. Just saying. I really enjoyed that. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. That's fun.
Yeah.
Hour 2 is next. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every goal, every game, every point, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a game-winning goal in the final seconds of overtime or a shot on goal in the first period, whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342.
Do you need equipment for your business but don't have the cash? I can help. I'm Dylan Cohen at JR Capital, and we offer no money down financing on new and used equipment. Excavators, forklifts, dozers, tractors, cranes, plows, and more. If it's essential to your business, I will help you get the money you need. It's faster and easier than asking your banker. Call me, Dylan Cohen, at 602-834-7353. That's 602-834-7353. Or visit moneyradio.com and click on Finance with Dylan.
Hey, everybody, it's Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends at the Lund Mortgage Team. Did you know that the Lund Mortgage Team was founded back in 1999? That's right. They're celebrating 25 years in existence this year. And you know what you have to do to stay in business that long? You have to be good at what you do. And the Lund Mortgage Team is not just good, they are great. They have helped thousands of people save thousands of dollars over those 25 years here in the Valley of the Sun. They only lend in Arizona. And they're mortgage brokers, which means they can shop your rate around. They're not tied to just one set of rates. Mortgage rates can get crazy. They can get high. They can get low. There's good times to strike and there's times to stay on the sideline. Let the Lund Mortgage Team be your coach, be your team leader when it comes to these huge decisions. Call 623-875-9940. That's 623-875-9940, or you can always check them out at lundmortgage.com. Great website with all the tools you need. Call them today. They're my great friends, and you'll love them. It's the Lund Mortgage Team.
Live from the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. This is KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down. Because it's time. Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender, and your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live from the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And we're going to have to take a vote, because I think we might need to create one of them GoFundMe, what is it? What do you do, a petition? to get people to not do something?
An account?
No,
Yeah, that would just be one of those petitions. Maybe the
no.
they
There's like
have-
an
they've
online
got- they've
version.
got the change.
Change.org.
Change.
Let's use that then,
Fine.
because I think we need to make an emergency sort of move to
We have
stop
an
something
emergency.
from happening.
We have an emergency right now. Okay.
Yes.
We have a daily blender emergency.
It's not a weather emergency.
It's a emergency situation. It's
not weather
as we go to
related.
the weather center now, Chief Meteorologist Randy White.
Suppose you
let's
do some
let's
weather,
go
I
out to the
guess.
field. Jeffrey O'Brien reporting with the emergency that we
Nothing
have.
to do with the
What do
weather.
we have? Some sort of a dust storm? What do we got
Nothing
going on
to do
here?
with the weather. Zero. Just turn off the music.
You
I
said
never
emergency.
told you to play any music for anything.
You said
I
there was an emergency, and
I think we might need to do an emergency petition. For
And there it
something.
is. We have an emergency petition that we
Do
need
you
to
have
enact
more than like
here.
say 6 pieces of music? Seriously, because you always play the same damn music for
You
everything.
said emergency again, and
I think
sorry.
we need to get you some
the
like
emergency and breaking news music are the
Hey,
same
hey,
music.
Keon now has an emergency.
No, I was.
the
I was
emergency
go to the
is we need to
control
get you some new music.
I was
Hey,
making
go to
a
the
comment
control
on
room
the
now.
music.
Here's Keon Rose with the emergency. What is it, Keon?
I wasn't having an emergency. I simply said the word in reference to the music. That the music for an emergency and the breaking news music are the same music. I just
No, the breaking news music is completely different than the
just
emergency.
don't-
This is breaking
don't play
news here.
anything. Don't
Yeah.
play anything. Just turn it
Breaking
off.
news right there. Clearly, that's
Just-
breaking news.
No, I just no, it's not. It's weather. We're not talking about that.
Now this is weather right here. This
The
is
same damn music.
Weather from the weather. That's weather right there. See what I mean?
God, I wish we had a budget. So don't play any music. Okay, I just want to tell you what I'm upset about.
Thought you said
And-
you had an emergency.
I don't know if anyone else is going to be upset about this because when I thought, after listening to Dan Hurley talk, I kind of think that guy's a jerk. Everybody else is like, no, he's fine, except for one person. So I was like, all right, well, maybe it's me. But I think you guys will agree with me on this. We don't need another Happy Gilmore movie. The first one was perfect. Don't make a sequel, Adam Sandler. We don't need to undo all the good you did with the original Happy Gilmore and make another one. But
Yeah,
that
was a pretty funny movie.
being said is that there is a script that is in development and he's talking about doing it.
Oh no.
The guy who plays Shooter McGavin's like, oh my God, I haven't worked since the last Happy Gilmore. So, and then the gal who is the girlfriend, I think she was on Modern Family, but now she's out of work. So I think, I don't know what's going on. Adam Sandler likes to make movies so his friends can get paid. I'm looking at you, Rob Schneider, and looking at you, who's the kid from Just Shoot Me. What doesn't matter? Listen, David Spade. So I need to know what you guys think. Should there be a Happy Gilmore 2? I say no.
No.
There didn't need to be a new Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. They didn't need to be remakes and reimaginings and reboots, and there doesn't need to be a sequel this far into the future. This movie came out, what year was it? 1990 something? It was in the 90s, man. And it's a perfect movie the way it is. And no Kiss the Cook. We can't bring back Bob Barker. He's dead. So there's no reason to make this movie.
Is he dead though? Is Bob Barker
he is
He's
dead.
dead
Huh?
as can be. He's dead as the guy who falls off the Plinko thing. Remember the guy, the miner who climbs the mountain.
That was the mountain
peaks?
climber guy.
Yeah, that guy died.
Yeah.
And so did Bobby Barker. So
How many times did that guy die though? I wonder.
all of them. There's no reason for this movie to be made. That's my opinion. Do you guys want a Happy Gilmore too?
No.
No.
So we're
Every
in agreement
movie that's
here.
really good does not need a sequel.
3 out of 3. We all say nay.
Nay.
So will you
No.
sign the petition?
I would sign a petition. Yeah.
Okay.
I've
I
never
figured-
seen one of those petitions work, but yeah.
So that's the question right now on the text line. Will you sign the petition if I start one begging Adam Sandler to please stop? Don't make Happy Gilmore 2. Pinocchio says if it's as good as the new Roadhouse movie, go
No.
for it.
No.
Okay, I'm sensing sarcasm. I saw that they made one, and I'm not watching it.
To be honest, I didn't watch the first one. So, but I'm pretty sure this one probably not as good.
How could you not watch the first one? Kevin Bacon was in that.
Roadhouse?
Wasn't that Kevin Bacon?
No, that was Patrick Swayze.
Oh, never mind. So I get those two confused all the time.
And I have a theory. He got punched in the pancreas, and that's why he got cancer later.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I agree.
Big George says you can't just replace Bob Barker with Drew Carey and have the same joke. Price is wrong, Drew. Yeah, that's it. You're right. Adam Sandler would have to fight Drew Carey.
Which I don't want to see. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not as funny.
I think that Adam Sandler beats the hell out of Drew Carey.
I don't know what the hell it is about Bob Barker that makes
Bob
that
Barker's
funny.
the man.
But
He's
Bob,
like a
but it's funnier
superhuman.
with Bob Barker. Like,
Because he was always so
Bob
gentle and nice and generous, and it just everybody loved
Gentle
Bob
and
Barker.
nice.
You never saw him getting in a fight, but he was
Gentle
actually
and
well versed in kung
You
fu.
say Bob Barker is gentle and nice.
Yeah, have your pets spayed and neutered.
after
He was
every
always nice
show.
to all
Oh my
these
God.
ladies.
He wants your animals surgically altered.
Well, it wasn't like he was sitting there doing it. I mean,
No,
he
he
just-
wants them all surgically altered.
Yeah, they should be. So they don't.
Spayed and neutered. I wonder if
I
he
think we
ran
should have some people spayed and
I
neutered.
wonder if he was running a spay clinic out of his house.
Probably on the side. Yeah, probably.
And that microphone. Where the hell did he come up with that
I love that.
microphone?
He just, I think that wasn't real. I think it was just a stick with like a, had like a Rolo on the top.
A little felt.
It's a great
That was a
microphone.
candy?
Yeah.
On the top there.
When you were
Rolo
looking,
candy?
you just go like, Hefty Lefty says, I feel like this will be like Zoolander 2. Just terrible and way too long past the window of need.
Yeah.
I don't think we needed Zoolander 1. Moist One says, rest in peace, Carl Weathers. Another reason not to make the movie.
Well, that's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
Rough Rob says he needs to leave that movie alone. You're damn right, Rough Rob. Yeah, he says he should make part 2 of Big Daddy. I'll sign the petition. Well, I'm not going to suggest part 2 of Big Daddy, but the petition's only going to be about not making Happy Gilmore 2.
Bob Barker was 99 when he died. You made a movie that didn't have a sequel while one of the people in it lived to be 99. I think it's okay. We don't need another one. Just
Too
let
late.
it go. That
Just
ship
too late.
has sailed.
Hurry Harry says, I'll absolutely sign that and absolutely agree with you. Leave that alone as a classic. There are all sorts of movies that should be left alone. Hollywood needs new ideas and don't screw with the ones we like. You know what I did with the Indiana Jones movies? 1, 2, and 3 is all that really exists. I didn't watch the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull Bleep, whatever that was.
Which that's good for you. Congratulations.
And I did watch 85-year-old Indiana Jones just out of morbid curiosity. And I was really upset that I did. Time travel? Come on.
Oh, I haven't even seen it yet. That's now I have to. What?
Yeah, it just got really ridiculous at
God.
the end. So those two don't exist. The only Indiana Jones movies that exist to me, 1, 2, and 3. Outside of that, nothing else. Yes, Moist, when you're right. Ghostbusters. The girl Ghostbusters and these old elderly Ghostbusters with the kid from Stranger Things. Even Ant-Man couldn't save those. No, thank you. No, thank you. Coming to America, Donnie. Yes, you are right.
Oh my God. That's the one that's probably closest to this one.
Yeah, that's the worst remake.
A classic that didn't need a sequel that got one like 20 years after. Yeah, don't need it. Don't need it.
So yes, all right. I'm going to start the petition. We'll see if we get everybody to sign that. Yeah, I'm not trying to cost anybody their job, but Adam Sandler makes a lot of bad movies. He can employ a lot of bad actors, so he could just do something else. So it's not like if I say win with my petition to stop him, where he goes, fine, we're not going to do this. It's not like anybody's going to be out of job. He'll do another bad movie, without a doubt. That's the thing about Adam Sandler.
Like,
he does
like Parenthood 3 or something.
He'll do something really cool.
Not Parenthood, Grown-Ups.
And then something really dumb. And then he'll do something good, and then he'll do something dumb. There's no middle ground for Adam Sandler. Anyway.
Didn't he do that one Diamonds or something?
Uncut Gems.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was it.
That's why he did Hobie Halloween, is because when he didn't win an Oscar for that, he's like, I'm going to show them. And he's like, I'm going to go in, I'm going to make the worst movie ever and punish anyone who watches it. And he did. And he did. Big George says, thanks for ruining the new Indiana Jones movie, Jeffrey. I've been waiting to watch that. It's been out for a couple years.
Yeah,
That's
no,
on you,
it's-
George.
It's been a while. if you haven't seen it yet, that's fine.
Yeah,
Like, actually,
man, look, if it's inside of like a year and you share what happened in the movie, then that's on you. If you haven't seen it and it's two plus years old, that's on the other person.
He says, "No, I haven't been able to go to a movie since Cole's been born." You could have rented it, man.
Yeah, so it's on some streaming service.
Yeah, it's not in the theaters anymore, George. You could stream that
Your
Yeah,
excuses
George,
have gotten worse with time.
I'm afraid, George, that's on you.
Yeah,
Sorry.
nice try trying to blame the baby thing to make me feel bad. Ain't gonna work.
And I hadn't planned on watching it. That spoiler actually makes me want to see it now, just because of how damn ridiculous that sounds.
It's not great. Hefty Lefty says the only way it works is if Will Zalatoris reprised his role as the first caddy. Oh, okay. That still doesn't work. Slow Mozo says Star Wars 1, 2, and 3 are great. The rest suck. No, you mean, here comes the nerd, 4, 5, and 6. Because the ones you saw in 1977 was number 4,
4, 5,
and then
6,
5
yeah.
and 6.
Yeah, that's right.
And then in the 2000s, and then after that, I just don't want to talk about Star Wars. Moist One says, I liked Uncut Gents. That's not the same movie. That is something else.
Ooh.
Big George says the new Indiana Jones movie just came out. No, it didn't.
2 years ago.
It's been out for a while. He says it was out last summer. Feels like 2 years. You still could have probably rented it anywhere between September and now.
Okay, it was last summer.
He says, well, by Randy's rules, that's less than a year, and it's on you, Jeffrey, for spoiling it for me.
I actually I think once the movie's out of theaters,
Sorry,
that's
Jeffrey.
on you. If you wanted to see it so bad, it's easier to see now than when it was in theaters.
Here's a better idea. Don't see it. It sucks. It sucks.
I like watching bad movies though, so I'll probably. It depends on how a movie is bad.
Listen, save yourself, George. I posted up a trailer for The Adventures of Bauer and Munchausen, and it's on the Twitter there. Follow me at Radio Pal 1580. And I don't know where you can watch it. I think you have to pay like $3.99 on Amazon or something. But it's just a great movie. It starts a little slow. I'll give you that. It does. But if you hang in there with it, it's got an amazing cast. And it's a really fun movie. The Adventures of Baron Munchausen. This is back from when we were kids in the 80s. Anyway, so whatever. I don't feel bad if I spoiled Indiana Jones because they spoiled it before I even got near it. Rough Rob says, LOL, Moist Cut should be a texter nickname. Yeah, I did kind of combine the Moist Cut. That sounds almost worse than Moist.
Yeah,
One.
it does. Let's not.
Quiet Cannon says, Fanatic could do a very unique thing. How about a bracket challenge for Major League Baseball and NFL playoffs? No.
Why?
What?
Wait.
Huh? Bracket challenge for Major League Baseball? Well, you can't do that till the playoffs. Is that what you're talking about, Quiet Cannon? Do playoff brackets and have a playoff bracket contest?
I don't understand.
I don't know if that'd be that great. Same thing with the NFL playoffs. What do you guys think?
Well, isn't there already a bracket in place for playoffs?
Well, I mean, there's a bracket.
Yeah.
Sort of.
What are we going to do different?
He's saying do it for the NFL. Do it for Major League Baseball. We only do it for NCAA March Madness. And one of the reasons is because it's madness. It's 64, 68 teams.
It's a thing.
And if people have their way, it'll be even more soon. So that's the madness of it, is trying to do a bracket from those numbers.
Who's this?
This Quiet Cannon.
Quiet Cannon, every season we get together with fantasy football and we have sort of a challenge that way. You could sign up for that.
Well, then we also do our picks contest where it's just you pick every
picks.
single game instead of a bracket.
Yeah, we have a picks contest, and we have we don't need to do another contest during football season. Now, baseball season, nobody's interested. No one.
Mm-mm. But he says maybe for the playoffs. You do a thing once you get your playoff teams. But can you do a bracket with a 7-game? I guess you could. Who wins the series? Who doesn't?
I mean, to be honest, though, don't you have the NBA and the NHL before you have the MLB? You got the NBA playoffs coming up here quickly.
Yeah.
Why don't we do like some sort of a thing for the NBA?
How about no? How about stop making us try to just like do more work?
I think the fourth dimension is hungry for more prizes.
Well, Keon, what do you think deserves a bracket? Outside of NCAA tournament.
I don't know. I mean, in a sport with 7-game series, I don't know that
That's what
it's
I'm
going to
saying.
be as exciting to do one for the NBA. I like the way we do it in the NFL because you still have to do the playoff picks too. You're just doing also the regular season, so it's the skill of doing it.
Well, they
all
don't have
season long.
7-game series either.
And they're one-off games, so your pick kind of weighs a little bit more. Western Conference is kind of open enough this year, might be interesting, but I don't know. That doesn't really move the needle for me as something we have to do.
The Jet, who went to the game last night at State Farm Arena, says we had good seats, 32 rows back, but I found myself watching the screen above the court more than I was actually watching the players. You know where there's a screen you can do that? At home.
He's like 32 seats away from the court. Like that's just normal basketball seating.
Anything farther back than your regular distance for a basketball arena, yeah, you were suffering.
Yeah.
Mr. Wilbur says, not sure if this has been brought up or not, but somebody please explain to me why CBS is not carrying the men's Final Four games. The games are stuck on cable channels. Even the women's game was on ABC. I don't know.
You have to.
Are you talking about basketball?
Find somebody at Turner Media and ask.
Second
them.
of all, Mr. Wilbur, why are you watching TV? You can't see.
Maybe the people that are in the room with him watching tell him stuff.
Describe it to him.
Yeah, could be. Bruno Baller says, "Do we know who gets the number 1 pick in the WNBA draft? Is it a lottery style or?"
Yeah, but they already did it. Indiana Fever have them pick. It's next week. They're going to be professional athletes in a week.
The Cause says, stupid Indiana Jones movie. I know, right? Kiss the Cook says, moist what? Big George says, okay, Jeffrey, I'll take your word for it. Anybody who's seen the Indiana Jones movie is going to be on my side. Random Texter says, hey, speaking of brackets, you guys. Speaking of brackets.
Yeah.
When did Random Texter start getting the thinky wheel of death? The whole screen is frozen now. There's nothing that Random Texter is saying right now that is, I guess, important enough for the text line to let me see it. Sorry, Random Texter. Oh, here it is. He says, you guys didn't by any chance come up with a 3rd place prize. Yeah, we did not. But here's what we've agreed to, Random Texter. We talked about this in the last hour. We're just going to buy you a beer. Because we never heard back if we were going to get a 3rd place prize of the case of beer. So next time we see you, we'll just buy you a beer or something. Hamilton Porter says the worst invention is fantasy baseball. Every day for 6 months, adjusting your lineup. It's torture. It's true.
I enjoyed it.
He says, by the way, Adam Sandler should stick to serious movies. He does way better in those, and he hasn't made a funny movie since Big Daddy.
Like Uncut Gents, as Moist One says?
Ooh.
No, that wasn't supposed to be funny. I think that was serious.
Oh.
Yeah, the moist one really wanted that to exist. Yeah.
Donnie says, how about a 1580 NFL mock draft contest? Whoever gets the most right gets a $1,500 Kasai gift card. Dude, are you out of your damn mind?
$1,580 to Kasai?
That's crazy. The Cause says, Little League World Series could have a bracket. I always pick Hawaii. They crush home runs like every year. Guys, let's just take the summer off, okay, from the big contest.
Thank you, please.
We're taking the summer off.
Moist One says, I'd like to watch and bet sports with Wilbur and then just tell him his bets are losing every time and just pocket the money. That's cruel, but probably lucrative. Silver Pop says, hey, guys, food afternoon. I mean, good afternoon.
I like food afternoon better, to be honest.
Yeah, he says, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't day drink and text. Oh, you absolutely should. You absolutely should.
Absolutely. Yeah. Makes our show better.
All right, listen, we had to take a break. When we come back, let's talk about the Suns and the NBA. They got the Clippers tonight, and let's just sort of see what the current situation is, trying to figure out who's going to be proper playoff contenders and who's playing contenders. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hi, guys. Jeffrey O'Brien here. Have you ever gone to HarmonSolar.com? Well, you really need to, because everything you ever wanted to know about how solar power can save you big on your monthly electric bill is right there. It's online. Through your phone or through your computer, you can learn about tax credits, the equipment they use, look at how they do things for businesses as well as homeowners, see testimonials from happy customers, and I hear they got a pretty good podcast too. Check it out. Go to HarmonSolar.com. That's HarmonSolar.com.
Progressive presents good news, bad news, dumb news, then great news. Good news. A letter in your mailbox says you could save money bundling your home and auto insurance with Progressive. Bad news. You saw it after your teenager backed the car into the mailbox. Dumb news. A new mailbox, basically a box on a stick, costs up to $400. Great news. You decide to see if you could save money bundling at Progressive.com and go with paperless mail instead. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Need a boost in capital or a flexible line of credit for your growing business? Hi, I'm Dylan Cohen at JR Capital. I can help you get the money you need fast. The process is a breeze with a simple application and same-day approvals. No more waiting, no more hassle. Just a straightforward path to securing the funds you need, faster and easier than asking your banker. So call me, Dylan Cohen, at 602-834-7353. That's 602-834-7353. Or visit moneyradio.com and click on Finance with Dylan.
Celebrating 30 years of AmeriCorps in Arizona looks like more than 27,000 members, 29 million hours served, nearly 75 million in scholarships, millions of lives changed. When you sign up for AmeriCorps in Arizona, you make a difference. Also, earn a living stipend, plus education scholarships. Join the movement by signing up at serve.az.gov. That's serve.az.gov. This message is sponsored by the Governor's Office of Youth, Faith, and Family.
AZ Preps 365, your source for all the news, info, highlights, and more. Athlete news and interviews. Talk with coaches. Keep you up to date with the changes, moves, upcoming events, and more. AZ Preps 365, Arizona's ultimate prep sports show. If you miss a minute, you miss a lot. AZ Preps 365, Saturday mornings 8 till 10 on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. And always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. So, all right, here we are, the Clippers, 2 days in a row. How the hell did that happen? Why would they do that to them?
Just did a bad job scheduling. This isn't the first time I've seen this happen throughout the season. It's not the first time it's happened to the Suns. They played a similar set of games with the Spurs earlier in the season. They had a back-to-back with the Pelicans as well, I think back in October, something like that, November. So, yeah, no, it's just been a weird schedule this year.
Not digging it. Not digging playing them. Are they both in Phoenix? Or is it one here and one there?
I think that's it's 1 and 1.
Oh, geez.
So hold on.
That's annoying. That is annoying as hell. But, hey, at least we don't have any major injuries except for Nurkic. That's not great. But they have James Harden as a game-time decision. Joshua Primo out. Kawhi Leonard out. Daniel Theis is a game-time decision. So they're a little bit more dinged up than we are. But I know that the Suns are heavily favored on this. Keon, you said that the Clippers were doing great, looking amazing, and all of a sudden they've just fallen off. Is it because of the Kawhi Leonard injury, or is it something else? Is there something wrong with the Clippers again?
I don't think there's anything wrong with the Clippers. It's just they're in a similar position as the Suns are, where they've got very talented players in Paul George and Kawhi Leonard and Russell Westbrook, but those guys have to stay healthy, and if they're not, then they're cooked essentially. So like their struggles had a little bit to do with that. But over the last 5 games, they've won 4 out of their last 5, so they're starting to right the ship from the last time we talked about it.
Right. So I was going to ask, do you think that they'll lay up and just sort of take it easy because they're already in the 4 slot for the playoffs? Or do they just like, hey, we really want to hold on to this slot. We don't want to slip down. So they're going to be playing like they mean it. Which way are they going to go? The rest angle or the play for position angle?
I think they're going to be playing for position. They're a handful of games behind the Thunder. And even the Nuggets, again, like it's a slim chance that they would be able to move anywhere, but there are enough games left that, those teams don't win out. There is a chance. So I do think the Clippers would love to get a higher seed, try and play as the worst team they can possibly get in their first round matchup to give themselves some time to get a little healthier.
So with the Suns playing them 2 days in a row, which means they're going to be traveling and playing all within 48 hours. So they're probably going to play both games like they mean it. So 4 games left. And then we're not going to get, I'm trying to say is we're not going to get an easy one. We're not going to get an easy one from the Clippers.
No. And that's both games. The one here in Phoenix and the one in LA in a couple of days. So, no, all right. No gimmies left on the schedule with the 4 games left.
We're not going to get an easy one from the Kings because they're in a similar situation as the Suns, or at least within standings. I mean, Suns are still hanging on that 6th slot, but that could come and go easily over the next few games. And then the Timberwolves, they might rest up on that last game, right? They may just go ahead and throw them scrubs out.
Yeah, potentially, especially.
But then again, so might we.
If they've clinched that last spot or that number 1 spot, then they may just go ahead. I don't know that the Suns might do that. I think the Suns are going to probably still be playing to stay out of that play-in game. You're a couple of games behind Dallas, for that 5 spot, and you're tied with the Pelicans, who currently have 7, with the advantage going to the Suns because the Suns have won more games head-to-head. And, the Kings are 1 game behind the Suns. Like, I don't think the Suns are going to have the luxury of having any rest days where the Timberwolves might, because they've played well enough to know where they are.
Well, no matter what happens, we are either in the playoffs or we're in the play-in. What we really want to do is stay in the playoffs and avoid the play-in. That would be the nicest way to go. And Licky Lips Johnson says, Suns are losing. Let's go Lakers. Dude, you're so far down below us, we can't even think about you. You're
the Lakers are trying to fight to stay in the playoffs at all, or like in the play-in at all. Let's just go ahead and worry about your team.
Except for we have 46 wins and they have 45.
Yeah.
So I guess that's not much of a flex.
It's not much breathing room, and that's because I do think that if you are competing for a play-in spot right now and you are in the Western Conference, I think you're a good basketball team.
Hey, Licky Lips Johnson, like Mr. Wilbur, can Anthony Davis see right now? How's his eyes? How's Anthony Davis's vision right now? Did he get that fixed? Can he see, or is he going to be sitting out? Just asking. Just curious. 5th letter says the AMF awards are coming up. We can have a contest on picking Scene of the Year winner. What the hell's AMF? Is that like a porn thing or something? What the hell's wrong with
that a cocktail?
I have no idea.
It was like just a lot. It was just every alcohol in it.
Hey, Licky Lips Johnson says, ha ha ha, they have to cheat to win. When have they cheated?
Who are we talking about?
Who's
when
cheating?
Have the Suns cheated?
Was he talking about the Suns are cheating?
They have to hit or hurt our man to win. Anthony Davis, did he get hurt in a game with the Suns?
He played the Warriors.
Had nothing to do with the. He's so sorry, Minnesota. It was the Timberwolves. Yeah, he's right. It was the Timberwolves.
Sorry, the next game is the Warriors. But yeah, like, what are you doing?
Suns don't cheat; they whine. That's what they do.
That's their worst quality.
Right.
Turn to the refs and complain when you should be playing defense.
Hamilton Porter says College World Series should have a bracket. We should do a bracket challenge for that. Same amount of teams as basketball.
I can't overthink that one. I have no idea what's happening.
I don't
there.
think they have 64 teams in the College World Series. I don't believe that's true.
Standard answer. We'll see you guys next fall. That's the standard answer on contests and stuff like that.
Yeah.
King of Kitten says, hey, Mr. Wilbur, Final Four has been alternating between TBS and CBS for the past few years because CBS and TBS spent $1 billion to acquire the rights to the broadcast. $1 billion each.
So they're splitting.
So it's like
your year and the next year's our year.
Yeah, it's like child custody. It's a bad deal where we end up getting hurt. Okay. Kiss the Cook says, Mr. Wilbur is blind, Randy. He's not deaf. Theater of the mind. He can imagine scenarios.
Hey, Mr. Wilbur, the Final Four is over.
Yeah, he probably needed to hear that. He probably needed to hear that.
Yeah.
Silver Pop says, hey, Randy.
Yeah.
Hey, Randy, can you please play Burning Hell Lakers? Even though the Suns are playing the Clippers, matter of fact, could you guys make a song to have all LA teams burn in hell? Thanks.
Burn in hell, Lakers. Burn in hell, Lakers. Shut the hell up, Ralph.
We got Burn in Hell Lakers. We got Burn in Hell Dodgers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we got
Burn in hell, Dodgers.
Got that one.
Burn in hell, Dodgers.
Ralph, I hate you.
Yeah, we need to Burn in Hell Kings. We need a Burn in Hell
Clippers, I guess.
Clippers.
Even
Burn in
though-
Hell Rams. Burn in Hell Chargers.
Clippers have never seen an NBA Finals. It just feels a little mean.
Can't say Burn in Hell Kings. I like that hockey team.
What about Burn in Hell Sea Chickens?
Well, they're not in LA.
They're not in LA, but they are connected to Ralph. So
maybe we should write some new songs.
Burn in Hell, Ralph's teams. Burn in. Maybe something like that.
That definitely needs that. Here's the thing. It's up to Fish Tank.
Burn in Hell, Ralph's teams.
Yeah.
That way you can just, no matter
Cover
which one he's
everything.
talking about, you just play that.
Could be the Rams, could be the Sea Chickens.
I hate to impose on Fish Tank.
Well, I mean, if he's so inclined, I mean,
we should ask for that. Though.
Yeah, if he's feeling up for it.
Big George says, Jeffrey, if history is any indication, we don't want the Suns to face the Minnesota Timberwolves. Suns played down to the competition. I don't want to play their scraps. In case in point, look at the Spurs games where Victor Wembanyama was even out. Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of the Suns playing the Spurs. I like that idea.
I don't.
Because they've had their number. Like, was it 2 or 3 games, Keon?
I don't. Like
the Spurs was 3.
I don't.
No. It was. I'm talking about the Timberwolves.
Oh,
I don't.
They beat them. Did the Suns beat the Timberwolves twice or thrice? All I know is the last couple of times we've owned them fools.
Yeah. The Timber Pups.
Yep.
Yeah, the Suns have beaten them every time this season. They played twice, beat them 133-115 back in November.
I don't want to play
April
them in the
5th,
first
beat them
round.
97-87.
Then I don't want to play them in the first round.
Why not? We've got their number, Randy.
No. Because if you look back, when we would beat San Antonio during the regular season and we would play them, San Antonio would beat our ass.
Yeah, but this isn't San Antonio.
Different era, different teams.
Timber Pups. No.
They are different teams.
I want to play the Pelicans.
Tim Duncan
I want to play the Pelicans
going
in the
to the
first
Hall
round.
of Fame. The Timberwolves are rolling with Carl.
Want to play the Pelicans in the first round.
I don't know that you necessarily want that. Did you see
Pelicans!
the last game with the Pelicans?
Damn it!
How many people did Zion block? Was it the entire roster? I don't know if you want I think the Suns could beat the Pelicans. I don't know that you desire to play the Pelicans.
All we have to do is Devin Booker has to have one of his girlfriends cook up some of those Rice Krispie treats and bring that out on the court, and Zion will be off his game the entire damn evening.
Zion's been playing really well, and he's in shape.
You bring the damn Rice Krispie treats out there, and Zion will be off his game.
Who gets the bye? Is there a bye?
No.
So there's no bye.
I thought the team with the best
after
record.
the play-in, then everybody's playing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. One plays 8. That's your bye. You're playing the worst team to get into the playoffs.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah.
So you won't play the Pelicans right away, and if the Pelicans make it, they'll play they might play the Nuggets, and so Phoenix Suns down there, they end up, if it stays this way. If it stays this way, if I'm not mistaken, they'd play the Oklahoma City Thunder, right, Cam?
Jeez.
Yeah. Yep.
Because whoever wins the play-in would be 7 and 8. With the Phoenix Suns at 6, they would play number 3.
Yeah. And you got to beat these teams anyway. Like,
eventually you got to get to them, Randy.
So you might as well. And I would rather play the team that's inexperienced. They don't know how to win games that are filled with a ton of pressure, closeout games. I'd rather play them.
How high should our hopes be?
I think the Suns are one of the teams that can contend for a title, but like the matchups are going to matter here. I honestly struggle to figure out personally, outside of like Denver, who I feel really great about, what I know about the West this year, because I just think that the West has been so loaded. And I am convinced that if you took teams 2 through 10 in the Eastern Conference, they'd all be competing for play-in games if they played in the West. That's just the difference between those two conferences. I couldn't tell you.
This is going to be a lot of work just to get beat by the Celtics.
If the Celtics get there, the Celtics have their own stuff that I don't trust that team any farther than I can throw them. The more that I have been watching the Celtics, like I sat down and like went through some of the games that they've played lately. First off, no team has they take the most threes of anybody in the NBA. And no team has taken more threes than them in the league. And no team has made fewer 2s in the league. No team's ever won a title playing the game of basketball that way. They could be the first, but that's weird. It's a weird way to play basketball.
Well, they are 8 games ahead of everyone. The Timberwolves and the Nuggets and the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Clippers.
They play the East.
I know they do. I'm looking at the overall standings, and then the next closest to them is the Bucks. So
I know you're.
It sounds like the Boston Celtics are better than everybody, East or West.
That's the thing. They play most of their games in the East. Those are more games you get to play against the Pistons, the Wizards, the Hornets. These are the worst teams in basketball. I'm not saying it's all padded and inflated. I'm saying that the gap between I'm not going to use the record to tell me the gap between them and the next closest team, because if they played in the West, that's not a 62-win team. That's not.
Okay, where would they be if they were in the West? Give me a comparison.
They'd probably be close to where the Timberwolves and Nuggets are, like the mid-50s.
Well, that's still in the uppers.
It's still a really good team, but I'm not guaranteeing them a finals appearance. The way they play is very strange. That you get cold in a series, you're done.
Who scares you in the East the most of all those teams? Let's say by some chance the Phoenix Suns get there, and I'm not guaranteeing you they will. In fact, I'm saying it's fairly unlikely they won't. But the Phoenix Suns, let's say they get to that game. Who scares you? Which team are you like, you don't want to face that team?
I mean, I'm not thrilled about the idea of anybody having to face New York. They are
the Knicks.
The Knicks. It feels weird to say.
It does, doesn't it?
I don't. It's like when we were talking about the Lions, in the NFL season. It's just like we know the Lions are good, but it still feels weird to say the Lions. Not thrilled about the Knicks. I do like the Celtics a lot. I do think they're really good in the Eastern Conference, but I don't want to gas the Celtics up as this foregone conclusion of a team. I don't know that it's that cut and dry. If they catch a matchup where, all of those threes that they put up aren't falling, they could be done.
Well, let's worry about the West before we get to the East, I guess.
Yeah.
But
the West is tougher anyway. Like if you make it out of the West, I don't know that guarantees you winning against whoever comes out of the East. but you will have been the more tested team if you can get out of the Western Conference.
Well, we were pretty well tested when we got beat by the Bucks. That's all I'm saying. 888-368-1580. We're going to pick this back up on the text line and talk some more NBA stuff when we come back. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Hey there, you and aisle 2. I see you by the fiber and laxatives. You still using those to manage your constipation with belly pain? If your symptoms keep coming back, you may have irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. So you may need more than over-the-counter treatments to manage it. Ask your doctor about how Linzess can help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LANZESS.
What's keeping you from learning the language you've always wanted to speak?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make learning fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. And in 10 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons are designed to get you having real conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
That's not long.
It's not hard.
It's perfect.
It starts here. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
You're expanding your business and need to add to your fleet. Maybe you need another semi-truck or trailer. Don't have the cash? I can help. I'm Dylan Cohen at JR Capital, and we offer no money down financing on new and used trucks and trailers. Whether you're an owner-operator or a fleet manager, I'll get the vehicles you need with a simple application and same-day approval. It's faster and easier than asking your banker. Call me, Dylan Cohen, at 602-834-7353. Or visit moneyradio.com and click on Finance with Dylan.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
Don't be fooled by the people you meet on social media. It may start as an innocent conversation, but anyone who tries to sell you pills is nothing more than a drug dealer. And if you think tiny pills can't do much harm, think again. Fentanyl can end it all. Know the truth about fentanyl at learnmoreaz.org. Don't be fooled. Don't be faked out. Visit learnmoreaz.org. This message is sponsored by the Substance Abuse Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
Download our free sports app and stay up with all the latest sports news, scores, highlights, and more. Or stream us live anywhere at 1580thefanatic.com. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, Arizona's home for sports.
Hey, Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic, and Silver Pop says, Jeffrey, what Keon is saying is the East is a weak conference. It's the equivalent of the Patriots on their championship dynasty. The AFC East was horrendous in that period. Patriots were guaranteed a playoff spot every season. Dominant team, weak conference. Makes them seem superior to all. It's just a bunch of smoke and mirrors. All right. No, I mean, I remember it's been that way for since forever. That the West has been dominant over the East. It's been I thought we'd gotten past that though.
It seemed like it was kind of balancing out, but this past season has just been insanely unbalanced. I mean, the Milwaukee Bucks have 47 wins in the Eastern Conference, and that's playing a weaker Eastern Conference schedule. They'd be fighting for a playoff spot. They'd be fighting to stay out of the play-in the West with that same schedule. That's crazy. So there's some team in the West that is probably better than we think. And there are a lot of teams in the East I just don't feel great about.
Ralph has crabs, says, I support all the burn in hells, except for the Seahawks one. For the life of me, I can't understand how Ralph is a Seahawks fan and a Rams fan and a Dodgers fan.
He explains it every time like it makes sense. Like he's not insane for saying the words that he's saying.
Yeah.
Like he's just like, no, explain this calmly. Like, no, you're still saying nonsense. Just because you're saying it slower does not make that not weird. They're divisional rivals. Let go of the childhood team and move on. I grew up a Yankees fan. I put that down. I do not root for the Yankees and some other team. I just root for my team, not the Yankees.
Probably good you don't root for the Yankees on this radio program.
Yeah, that would be a mistake. And by the way,
it wouldn't
matter. It wouldn't matter if Ralph was some other kind of fan because Randy has always hated the Seahawks.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing to do with Ralph.
It's just he holds on to the LA Rams, and I'm like, your two teams hate each other right now. What? How can those? That it just doesn't make any sense.
I mean, yeah, Ralph could annoy you enough to where you'd hate his teams, but it just Randy was already there.
Yeah,
with the Seahawks, so.
He didn't have to work hard. No.
Slow Mo Zoe says, didn't the NBA All-Star Game show parody of the league? LOL. Don't even talk to me about that game.
The All-Star Game showed parody of anything.
No. King Kittens says, this morning it was 45 degrees in the back patio. I kicked the heater on a little bit. This afternoon it's 85 degrees in the patio. Now I've got the AC on. I know we're right at that weird, awkward phase of weather where it was chilly this morning and it's hot today. It just, hey, don't worry, soon it's going to be really effing hot.
I can't wait.
I just got to say, all the respect and props for everybody who works outside.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it.
Kidding. Yeah.
I see the construction workers out there, and I'm like, I don't get it. Good job, thank you.
Had an in between. I was in radio, and then I left town. I came back, and when I got back, I didn't have a radio job at the time, so. A friend of mine there was a construction worker, plain old carpenter, going out there framing houses and doing that whole thing. And he's like, hey, my company will hire you. I'm like, all right, fine. I went there and I bought myself a tool belt and I had all the construction worker stuff. I'm like, this is going to be cool. And I always thought this would be fun. And so I go out there, and my first day, man, I'm swinging a hammer, and they were impressed. And I was cracking them up at lunch as we sat in the garage, and we were building houses. And I was just like, yeah, this is awesome. And I'm just going along, and he's like, dude, you're doing great. I'm like, yeah. And it was July, and that was my last day. I had heat stroke.
Oh no!
I was in my 20s, so I was physically able to, even though it was hot. But I, as I do most things, I have no sense of moderation. And after that, I was like, "Here, give this tool belt to somebody who needs it. I'm never doing this again in July."
Wow!
If I moved to Colorado, man, I could be a construction worker. I could have done that the rest of my life. I enjoyed it. Camaraderie with the guys, swinging the hammer, building a thing. Oh, it was great. I enjoyed it. And I'm never doing that again in Arizona, ever. Oh, my God. I almost died.
Yeah.
And I drank all the water. I drank water like they told me to.
Heat is like Father Time. He does not lose.
So
hot is going to get you eventually, and that's just what's going to happen there.
Every time we do the show and we talk about how hot it is, I always think about those guys, and I think about the guys who are driving in delivery vans, getting in and out, whether it's air conditioned or a lot of times not. It doesn't matter. It's hotter than hell. Yep. The people who listen to this show and work outside or work all day in hot conditions, man. I tip of the hat to those guys. I always remember once I complain about something, it could be a lot worse, but I'm always going to complain if the air conditioning is broke at the studio. I'm always going to complain about that.
I think that's fair. The air just does not move in here. And during the show time, the sun is on the studio side of the building. As you can see, if you're watching on the YouTube, it's all on. The sun is just across my face.
Do you want me to get something in that window so you don't die this summer?
No, not really. I mean, I got the AC unit over there.
Yeah, you're on a different AC. We finally got that fixed. in the studio. It's just they didn't even tell us. They're like, I showed up one day. I'm like, I wonder if this will work. Holy crap, it works. Yeah, okay. So we're good for the summer, hopefully. We're good for the summer.
Hopefully.
Anyway, so to all of you out there who work real jobs and you're starting, you should move. I think you should just go ahead and move. I think you should go find a place that's not going to be 188 degrees, because I feel like, Randy, that this is going to be a really bad summer. I think this is going to be a hotter one.
It was pretty rough last summer, Jeffco.
I think this is going to be worse because of how nice it's been this spring.
I don't know.
Whatever
we'll have
we
to
call
wait and
this.
see. We'll have to wait and see.
Pineapple Express says, what genius designed that studio to have it facing south and west? All radio stations should be facing north and east in Arizona. Yeah, I wasn't around when that was designed.
Don't you get you get the morning sun? Any way you go, you're going to get sun in the windows.
Well, not when you're facing north. If you're facing, your best bet is north and east. It's not about the sun. It's about the heat. It's not as hot in the morning. So Pineapple Express is still right about that.
Yeah, that is true.
But I wasn't working there. But then we did inherit that studio, but I had no other choice. So, but I agree. I would have maybe positioned it in a different. I'd be happy if people stop opening the blinds in that damn room. Every time I'm there, I close all the blinds, and then somebody opens them up. Look in that room. Those blinds open in that room?
Not right now.
No, not in the direction you're looking. The other ones, over by number 3. See Mike?
By 3, yeah, those are open.
Who keeps opening the window?
Yeah, those are wide open.
I'm gonna put a note on there. I just hated to be that guy, but post-it notes and stuff.
Don't open this window.
Anyway,
interesting.
Rico Suave says, "Hello, guys, and thank you." And yes, that's right. He works outside. Slow Mo Zo says, I did the same thing roofing a house. Lasted one day and I had a heat stroke. Yeah, I probably should have taken it a little more easy, maybe not swung the hammer so hard, but I was just like, it was like fun competition. And I was young and in shape. So, man, I was hitting the hammer once, the nail went in. I was like, shouldn't have done that.
The old dudes were taking their time. They knew better.
Glendale Mullet, he just sent me a picture of he says, this ain't so bad, huh? Making bucks, getting exercise, working outside. That's from Office Space right there. Pineapple Express says, it's probably Ralph and Neil messing with the blinds on the weekend. No, Ralph's got his own studio where he does his stuff from. So I don't know. I don't know who's doing this. Big George says, so what I'm hearing is that the NBA should just move to a playoff format where the top 16 teams qualify, regardless of conference, and get rid of the play-in game gimmick. Same should go for the NHL. Well, I'm not going to talk about the NHL on this, but I'm going to say I have been saying that for many years. I think you want the best teams in the playoffs.
So
not the best teams from the conferences.
Do we do that in every sport?
Well, we'll start with the NBA, see how it goes.
Why do we have to start with the NBA?
I've got a short attention span. Go ahead, do it in every sport.
Because, I mean, in the NFL, if you win your division, you're automatically in, even if your division produced a 7-9 team.
I hate that. I
think that's insane to me, but that's like, to me, that's worse. Because because at least in the NBA, you get the seven game series. You filter out all the bad teams by the time you get to conference title time.
On one side,
it's one-offs in the NFL. So,
Donnie says, Keon, Big Wolves Wizards game in 20 minutes. What's your bet?
My bet is the Wolves. What are you talking about?
His bet is he's not even watching it.
The Wizards stink. I mean, I've watched a lot of the Wizards this year because I do like the some of the young guys on the team, but not because I expected them to win any of them. They're not good right now.
What is wrong with you, Donnie?
And that's okay.
I'll laugh my ass off. I will laugh my ass off.
Oh, yeah, no, don't. I mean, granted, they had a game with the Wolves maybe a couple of weeks ago that was way closer than that needed to be. Never be close to the Wizards. That's I think that's a good rule.
That would be the best. I mean,
don't lose to them.
Oh my God.
I'm kindly asking that you not lose to my team. You will not hear the end of it from me. They're a 15-win basketball team.
That'd be like Christmas.
And most of that 15, if we're honest, is in the last month.
So no bet? No bet? Okay.
No, they're awful.
So tell me about Isaiah Thomas, not the Isaiah Thomas, different Isaiah Thomas. They've decided that they would sign him to through the end of the season, and he's 35 years old. Hadn't played in a couple of years, and he shows up now. And I guess since he's been how's he been doing for the Suns? Has he been doing good?
He hasn't actually done a whole lot with the Suns.
So just a deep bench backup guy.
Yeah. Basically, guy that's shown
why would they even do a story about
can play in the league because of his story, because of who Isaiah Thomas was before he got injured. He was with the Boston Celtics. They went on a playoff run. They got all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. He carried them he's a 5'10" player, small player, but he carried that team. He played after his sister died. He played that same day and put up one of the great NBA performances of all time. Then he injured his hip. The Celtics did him dirty. And this is his comeback, basically. So, a lot of people are rooting for him. And maybe he'll get a chance at some playoff glory to make up for it, because he was really good. He was really good.
Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. By the way, Diamondbacks, Trevor Bauer is still sitting out there, right? Still sitting out?
He's still out there.
He is. Yep. All right, guys, that is 2 hours down. We got one to go. Diamondbacks and Rockies started up at 5:40. Clippers and Suns at 7, along with the Coyotes and Kraken at 7. Come on back. We'll talk about it. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Just Capital is a nonprofit that tracks which companies are a force for good. Companies like Bank of America, which just earned the Just Capital seal. Bank of America is ranked #1 for ongoing commitment to their workers, with initiatives like Sharing Success, which awarded 97% of their teammates additional compensation, nearly all in stock. This is the program's 7th consecutive year, awarding more than $4.8 billion in total. Visit justcapital.com to learn how a just business is a better business.
Furnished by Just Capital.
All right, so there we were, cruising through the new open-air zoo, when I realized that the park was closing in like 15 minutes. That's when the afternoon took an exciting turn. Luckily, we were in my Nissan Rogue. With its powerful DC turbo engine, well, we had more than enough time to see all the animals. Whoa! And outrun a few!
Drive the Nissan Rogue. Now get the 2023 Nissan Rogue with best-in-class fuel economy among gas engines. Availability is limited. Shop at your local Nissan store or at nissanusa.com. Auto Pacific segmentation, excluding hybrids and electric vehicles. 2023 EPA fuel economy estimates from 28 city 34 highway to 30 city 37 highway for 2023 Nissan Rogue. As shown, Nissan Rogue Platinum all-wheel drive, 28 city 34 highway. Actual mileage may vary.
Are you ready for your passion to meet your purpose? The city of Chandler is one of the best-run cities and best places to live in Arizona, where people express their passion through collaboration and teamwork as we serve our community of innovation. Come to Chandler, where passion meets purpose. Visit jointeamchandler.com for our current openings. That's jointeamchandler.com.
This message is sponsored by the city of Chandler.
Going to college and not acquiring debt is possible with the help of the U.S. Army. You'll be able to choose the career you want and receive help to pay for your full tuition. There are also reimbursements for student loans and GI Bill benefits. In the U.S. Army, your mission will be to learn. Learn how you can be all you can be at goarmy.com/AIA Sports. That's goarmy.com/AIA Sports. Everybody's got a podcast these days. Comedy, politics, true crime, you name it. But how many actually teach you anything useful? Harmon Solar has an entertaining podcast that is vital if you've been thinking about looking into solar, but you don't know where to start. Ralph and Ben explore the intricacies of utilities, equipment, processes, and more. Their primary objective is to educate and empower you to make informed decisions on your solar journey. So increase your knowledge, not your bills. Go check it out right now. It's the Harmon Solar Podcast at harmonsolar.com.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM. And K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third hour.
All right, people. people, settle down. Because it's time. Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 5 o'clock here on Daily Blender, and your good friend, Radio Pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harman Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And so we got a bunch of stuff happening tonight. That's right. We got the Diamondbacks and Rockies in 40 minutes. We got the Clippers and the Suns in 2 hours. Also at 7, we got Coyotes and Kraken. That's happening in Seattle. And let me tell you, this whole thing with the Coyotes, I just don't understand it. It doesn't seem very professional, does it? The whole thing that's going on with them, trying to find a place. And they're like, hey, we got a place we're looking at in Mesa. And they're like, okay. And we got a place in Tempe. You're like, okay. Well, we got a place in North Phoenix. Would you make up your mind? What the hell are you doing? Because originally they did this thing. We got a great place in Tempe, and they just wanted a vote to allow them to do it, right? I don't think they were asking. Were they asking for taxpayer money? I don't think they were. And
I don't think they were. No,
I
they
don't
were
think
just
they
looking for
were,
the land.
But a lot of the tax breaks they were asking for got misconstrued as them asking for money, which I think probably helped people vote no.
Okay, so then Tempe was like, no, we really, really, really want a landfill. So no, thank you. And so then they go over to Fiesta Mall. They're like, hey, this is a good place. And everybody's like, ooh, maybe there. And then they're like, well, there's this mysterious area in North Mesa. Ooh, well, maybe over here. And then they're now like without telling us, all right, if we don't get this land in North Phoenix here, then we'll probably leave. Wait, whoa, what happened to the Fiesta Mall thing or the North Mesa thing? Or you tell me there's no place else? But listen, you don't have to build houses. Just find a place big enough for an arena. Maybe just start there. You don't have to be all or nothing.
I mean, unfortunately, that's the way it is nowadays. The modern sporting event arenas have to have, restaurants, and they've got to have, housing opportunities, and they've got to have,
they don't have to.
Well, they do though. I mean, that's that modern sporting arena. That's just what it's all about now.
And they want all of the associated money. Like that's specifically what they're looking for, is an opportunity to set up something that is going to generate them money beyond what the team is going to give them. So for them, it's completely worth it to waste all of our time looking for just the perfect spot to make them the most money.
But the problem is they just need a spot. What they need is a place to play and sell tickets. After that, the rest is just extra. And now they go from, well, here's a place. Wait, there's a place. Well, maybe a place over here to buy. Like, whoa, what the hell, man?
As like normal functioning in society people, the rest is just extra. The rest is a huge chunk of the business model to these people. It's huge. That's a big factor in a lot of people opting out of some of these perfectly fine stadiums, is trying to get to a place where they can have a whole shopping district, around the arena that brings in money year round.
So now they'll be the Salt Lake City door knockers. I guess that is what they're going to become, because they won't still call them the Coyotes if Ryan Smith, the guy who owns the Utah Jazz, gets his way and is able to drag the Coyotes there.
They might. I mean, you own the Utah Jazz.
It's a good point. There's no Jazz in Utah.
You could have changed that name too, and that
0%. When it's a bunch of white people playing jazz, it's just badly played music. You know what I'm saying? It's not jazz. There's no heart and soul to it.
I don't know about that, but there's come on. I will say, as far as the jazz coming out of Utah, it's like negative jazz. It's whatever is the opposite of jazz. That's what they make the most of.
Yeah, this heartbreaking that suddenly out of nowhere, Xavier Gutierrez says, if we're not the winning bidder on that land, then we would more than likely have to entertain a relocation of the franchise. The hell, man? What happened to? We're not giving up, and we got a few years to figure this out. And a few months later, well, we tried. Bye-bye. Maybe he's not serious. Maybe he's been wanting to move all the entire time.
The Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, they've been there since how long? 62.
Oh, they're not going anywhere.
And they, if they don't get a new upgrade at their facility, they're going to leave. Come on, you think the Coyotes wouldn't leave? I think
Coyotes will. Yeah. Chiefs will not. Chiefs are not going anywhere.
I mean, this is the tactics they use on the taxpayers of the community and the fans.
Well, there are no tactics. They didn't want money. They didn't ask for tax money. They don't they're not even wanted by some of these. The mayor of Scottsdale is like, oh, hell no, we don't want them. Why not?
Because
why is he all upset?
Because they want the land, they want the tax breaks, and they want all the money generated by the land.
They want to pay for the land, Randy. They're looking for a 95-acre parcel of untreated land, and it's $68.5 million is the starting appraisal price, so that's where it starts.
But they don't want to pay the taxes on the land.
I don't see anything about the taxes in this story right here.
Exactly my point.
And I haven't heard that come up anywhere.
And I mean, you got to go back to when the Coyotes left Glendale.
Right now, they're just trying to buy this land, Randy.
Well, okay. All right. I'm not trying to debate. I'm just trying to say what I've known is the Coyotes want the land. They don't want to pay the taxes, and they want to have the zoning rights for shopping and housing, and then they want the proceeds from all of that as well.
They have no leverage to demand taxes. Here's why. First step is the auction on June 27th. If they win and they get the land for near $70 million, they can't then say, you better give us a tax break or we're leaving and we'll still own this land. God damn, this is a bad negotiation. You know what I'm saying? They're buying the land and then they're going to go from there. And then nobody, Phoenix, Scottsdale, nobody has to give them any tax breaks because you have no leverage. So I don't think that's their angle, Randy.
Okay.
Unless somebody else out there.
It's hard to understand what their angle is if it's not what Randy's saying. Because what else is there to try to leverage? Because if you wanted to buy land, you could just out and out go somewhere.
Here's why.
And buy it.
95 acres in the position it's at is probably worth a good deal more than the $68.5 million. So they're basically saying if we can't win this, we can't afford to do what we want to do in any other scenario here unless somebody gave it to us, the way Randy is saying. So it's either this, they've tried the other way, it failed. So it's either this or there's nothing. I think that's the whole point of this.
They're willing to buy it. They just don't want the tax ramifications that come with them building what they want on the land because then cities.
Where has this been said? I haven't seen that anywhere.
You just kind of have to follow from the beginning.
No, I know, but see, this is a different scenario. The other scenarios were, hey, here's this land. Can you guys let us have it for this? They would have to establish with Phoenix that they would get those sorts of breaks before they bought the land. Because how dumb would they be to buy the land and then still end up without the breaks?
Well, I not a debate. I'm just trying to say that's what my understanding is. And that's why the city of Scottsdale doesn't want them.
Well, it's not the city of Scottsdale. Well, this is Phoenix land.
The
is
mayor
close to the Scottsdale.
The mayor of Scottsdale doesn't like them because they're not going to be a moneymaker for
and it doesn't seem
exactly because King Kittens is right. It says the mayor of Scottsdale is pissed because Scottsdale gets nothing out of the deal, and his billionaire friends are all against it.
What I'm trying to say,
and also the mayor of Scottsdale said there's probably a win-win solution, but the Coyotes haven't communicated that with him.
Well, so what is it?
He wants to work with them and find out what that would be, but they're not interested in talking through any of that while getting land that's pretty damn close to Scottsdale and will affect Scottsdale. So I don't know. I would have picked up the phone and at least asked him what his idea was.
The Coyotes are not willing to work with anybody to try to get land. They're not trying to work, willing to work with any. What they want is they want land. They want it to for whatever the asking price is. with no extra taxes, and then they want to build whatever they want to on the land without paying extra taxes. That's
Well, at this moment, they're just trying to buy land. If they buy the land and then go for the tax breaks and don't get them, they're stuck with this land.
Well, land is valuable. So it's
Well, I know. I'm just saying though, but then now you just dropped $70 million on some land, and now you have to relocate, and you have to go do this, you have to go do that. That's a big chunk to eat, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, if they do something else with the land and move the Coyotes elsewhere, like that's not going to lose them money.
If they buy the land, they'll stay. I don't think they're going to leave.
I would think that they would stay, but I don't know what the deal is with the tax breaks. It's just everywhere else they've tried to go, they've asked for tax breaks. It would be hard to imagine that they would suddenly not want that just because they bought the land. They still think that they're a net gain.
Does not want to move. They do not want the Coyotes to move. The NHL wants to expand, because if they move the Coyotes to a place where they could have expanded, then that's a loss for the NHL. They want the Coyotes to stay put. They can sell the tickets. The tickets aren't the problem. But you're right, Randy. Maybe it is just the absolute greed. I don't know all the details, but I don't know if at this moment the taxes are the focus. But you're probably right. They'll whine and cry about anything. I don't know.
Exactly. It's another situation where the ownership group wants something, and they want to put out the least amount of money to get it.
Well, guess what? The Coyotes are worth the least amount of money in the NHL. They're only worth $675 million.
I would agree with that.
And I don't know. They don't have a lot of leverage in a lot of different directions.
Yeah,
so.
According to ABC 15, they do want tax breaks.
So how do you get the tax breaks before they buy the land?
Well, they're not asking for it before.
So that's dumb as hell.
Here's a quote from the Coyotes CEO. If let's see, if you were to get that plot of land and start developing, do you go back to the city of Phoenix and say, hey, we'd love tax breaks on this? And then he said, a bunch of stuff about the taxpayers not wanting them involved. And so they don't want any tax dollars coming in. But
do these people know how the business works? You get the tax breaks before you buy the land. You're like, hey, if you promise to give me these tax breaks, I'll go buy that land and you'll get a lot of money. Or you get a lot of business, you get a lot of employment, you get a lot of everything that Phoenix would like to have.
But see, I think the way the Coyotes are working this deal, or the way they want to build this deal is they don't want to give up a bunch of money to the community. And they will dress it up very nicely and say we're not using tax dollars, but at the same time, they're not paying any tax dollars to have. See, when you put businesses on this land, there's a tax that goes with it. You know that, and I know that, but they don't want to pay that tax. They're
or at
saying
least get a cut.
They're saying they don't want to pay the tax on these businesses and houses that they want to put on this land.
And they keep wording it very, very specifically. They keep wording it as, we are not interested in tax dollars coming in, but they never say anything about
tax dollars coming out.
So
no wonder. I think that what happened is in 1996, there was an old witch who lived in Winnipeg, and she put a curse on the team because they have lost money every single season since 1996.
Well, that could be.
They've been in and out of bankruptcy, and now this. I mean, this has just been so badly handled.
One of those franchises that where the owners come in and they want to make money, and they don't care about winning championships or things like that.
Which is a shame, because winning championships is, as far as I can understand it, the best way to make money. But
they're like, championship? We don't even have a building. Well, whose fault is that? Let's not mince words.
Right.
Well, that's and that's why they're not in Glendale anymore. They did not come to an agreement with the city of Glendale. So
pretty easy to keep your rent going, Pineapple Express says the guy who owns the Coyotes, Alex Morello, is in the radio business. He owns stations in LA. So the answer is no. He does not know how to run a business.
Oh my God.
Damn.
Well, that's the meanest way I've heard that said.
Just another face in the crowd says the riddle goes like this. What do you call a jazz band of all white guys? A tribute band.
All right.
Ralph Has Crabs says the writing is on the wall. Coyotes be relocating to Salt Lake City since the NHL wants a team in Salt Lake City. In time for the 2034 Winter Olympics, which will most likely be in Salt Lake City.
But the
Why
NHL
would they care about that?
The NHL doesn't want the Coyotes to move. It's just genuinely not a great look to have a team move from a major market like that.
Better money if you start 2 more teams.
Yeah, then keep the Coyotes here and then just start a team in Salt Lake City.
I don't know. This, I hope the Coyotes can sort out their crap. But if they're being dip bleeps about it, you can go. That's kind of the way I feel, Randy.
It's a shame. It's a shame,
and I'm okay with it. I'm just trying to deliver what I know from having read all these articles. I feel like I've seen a lot of the inside of this Coyotes idea about a new location, and it involves many tax breaks.
I have said before, as long as when the Coyotes leave, we get the Phoenix Roadrunners back, I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that as well.
But if we don't get the Phoenix Roadrunners back, I'm pissed because there's no way they should stay in Tucson.
I agree.
You and I'll drive down there and make some.
That's right.
Make some things happen.
We'll buy the damn team.
Yeah. Okay. I'd buy the Phoenix Roadrunners. Hell yeah.
Yeah, we would.
We'd have money left over for like Taco Bell.
Heck yeah.
So, would the NHL give Phoenix a team again?
If
this happens, if they leave and we're sitting here teamless, would they expand a team here?
Highly unlikely at this time.
It's not our fault. It's not Glendale's fault. It's not Scottsdale's fault. It's not Tempe's fault that the people who own the Coyotes currently are doing bad business. Okay.
Yeah. But you have to understand the way they're looking at this. The people of Arizona are voting down propositions to move an NHL team into a plot of land that's currently a landfill, and the NHL does not want to have to get involved in this. That's
it's more
why
about the owner than it is those situations, Randy.
Well, but the NHL does not want to get involved in this. They just want their franchise to be operating here in this major market, one of the largest major markets in the country. And so far, the taxpayers and the governments here are not wanting to cooperate with the NHL in their strong arm tactics to move in and try to get a facility, land, and have a businesses around the land to make the owners even more wealthy than they were when they started this thing.
So what will have to happen? Let's say Coyotes go off and they become the Las Vegas White Shirts. I don't know, whatever.
Well, probably
the Salt Lake City Deacons, whatever. And they leave, and we're hockeyless here in Phoenix.
Then,
what it will take is the NHL to get together with a mayor of one of the cities, and the mayor is going to have to say, "Hey, listen, we talked to the city council. Have we done that? We can promise you that if you bring a team here, and with a new owner, a good team, that we can expand or what, blah blah blah. We'll give you this land. We'll give you these tax breaks, and that's the. I guess maybe that's the only
probably
way.
I mean, it could take many years to undo the damage of losing a major sports franchise. It would take probably many years, and then you would have to get. It would probably go the other way, not the NHL. You'd probably have to have businessmen, an ownership group here to go out and seek from the NHL and really schmooze the NHL to bring another franchise here.
Yeah. King Kitten says if Phoenix loses a pro team, that league will never return. Well, I bring your attention to Baltimore, St. Louis, a bunch of other places.
What about Atlanta? Atlanta has lost 2 NHL teams, and they are trying to get a third one.
Yeah, and Big George says if Atlanta gets a third team, Phoenix should for sure get a shot.
get a
second.
Yeah, like 10 years, probably try again.
Keep in mind that this team is not a franchise that was not that was brand new. The Diamondbacks, brand new franchise. Phoenix Suns, brand new franchise. The Cardinals and the Coyotes, they were not brand new franchises. They were franchises that were not making it where they were and they moved here. So for me personally, as an Arizona native, give me a brand new franchise and let us build it from the ground up, and we go from there.
Well, I just wonder how many years will it take before we get a chance to do that
Several.
if we lose
Several.
the Coyotes.
Several.
All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, more of the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Get insights into the sports betting market with VSiN's betting splits. See where the money is and keep updated on how the market is reacting. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
The NBA heading to its final week of the regular season before the playoffs begin, and the Boston Celtics versus the Denver Nuggets is the betting favorite to be this year's NBA Finals matchup. That is at plus 300. The Celtics taking on the LA Clippers is at plus 650. The Milwaukee Bucks, currently second in the Eastern Conference standings, going up against Denver, is plus 1,000. Boston against Oklahoma City, also plus 1,000. The Celtics and the Minnesota Timberwolves is at plus 1,200, while the Celtics against the Phoenix Suns is at plus 1,400. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Let's clear out winter and clean up the lawn with Spring Black Friday savings at the Home Depot. Right now, get the Ryobi One Plus leaf blower for just $89 and make your lawn work easier with a powerful 90 miles an hour of clearing power. Plus, you can buy it online and pick it up in store, getting you outside sooner. Get your yard spring ready with the Ryobi One Plus leaf blower, now just $89 during Spring Black Friday at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. See store at homedepot.com/delivery for details.
O'Reilly. Is your Moore's battery weak or dead after winter storage? Get your Moore ready for spring lawn maintenance at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, purchase any Superstart lawn and garden battery and get a $10 gift card after rebate. Choose Superstart batteries for power, performance, and reliability exclusively at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every home run, every hit, every inning, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. See for yourself when you sign up today and get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, I'm State School Superintendent Tom Horn. We need to improve students' proficiency in reading and math, which is my highest priority. I'm therefore providing $40 million for free one-on-one tutoring for all public and charter school students from first grade to high school, regardless of their proficiency level. And participating teachers earn money, which they deserve, for their work to improve students' learning. Sign up at azed.gov.
Sponsored by the Arizona Department of Education.
Hey guys, Jeffrey O'Brien here. Did you know Harman Solar has gone super high tech? There's an amazing tool at harmansolar.com that'll give you an instant ballpark solar estimate using satellites from space. You just type in a little information, and within seconds, you'll have an idea of just how little money it takes to save big on that monthly electric bill. I did it, and within seconds, they measured my roof and calculated my savings. It's very impressive. Go to harmansolar.com and give it a try yourself. That's harmansolar.com.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Ken Barkley here, reminding you to check out You Better You Bet. Why, you ask? Well, because we bring the fun, the insight, and all the wagertainment you need. Plus, hopefully, we win a couple bets along the way. From up-to-the-minute breakdowns of backdoor covers, bad beats, and the cheers and tears that come with them, obviously. Plus, betting analysis from some of the best minds in the sports wagering world. Join myself and Nick Costos and tune into You Better You Bet. Weekdays from noon to 3 on Arizona's sports betting station 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Hey, Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Randy, I feel like I'm getting to an age where I start to see certain headlines and I'm agreeing with the bad guys.
Welcome to old age, my friend.
Here's the headline. Bus driver fired after stopping bus full of students on train tracks as freight train approaches.
Either sit down or the train's gonna cut us in half.
Exactly. And he's just like, he parked there on the tracks and went, be quiet. And everybody's like, we're gonna die. So
Yes.
I remember when I was a kid that we had bus drivers who would brake check you. You know, you'd be standing up in the bus and all of a sudden you'd be flying down the aisle. And I told you to sit down. Yeah, that guy didn't get fired. He never got in trouble, you know. But this guy, okay, this was a little more than that. He parked on the tracks, and the arm ding 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 came down on the hood of the bus, and the kids were freaking out. And then they came out and said, "Yeah, well, he also would drop us off at Wendy's or wherever we wanted. He wasn't supposed to do that." Yeah, you little bastards didn't tell him then, did you? You didn't tell on for that stuff when he was
exactly. Yeah.
But I don't think this guy was trying to kill anybody. He was just fed up. And I have been fed up. You have been fed up as parents and around dumb kids. And so this bus driver, just on his last nerve, thinks, all right, maybe this will get their attention. We kept saying there's a train. We need to move. And at that point, a lot of us thought we were going to die. Guess what you just learned? Shut the hell up.
Listen to the bus driver. Shut up.
This, I don't know what happens. No, the next bus driver is going to get the loudest bunch of kids or the quietest bunch of kids. So if I'm the school, I'm going to hire a guy who looks a lot like that guy.
No.
Or at least
I'm going to retain that guy.
Or just tell him, you think what the last driver did was bad? Go ahead and talk. See what I do. See what I do. They don't do very good background checks. So, I mean, that should be right there. That should be a horrific headline. But I saw that headline. The first thing I thought was the same thing my parents would have said. What did you do?
Yeah.
What did you say to that guy, Jeffrey?
Right.
What did you say to inspire that? It is a private school, too. So these kids are really, really bad kids. You know what I mean? These entitled little bastards. Yeah.
Parents, get involved with your kids, please.
I'm sure I'm wrong. Or at least I'll be told that later. But
I'm sure I'll be told I'm wrong later.
But I'm kind of on his side.
Yeah, I am too.
Probably short of the ding ding arm coming down on the bus. I think he probably was trying to make a point, realized, oh, I've gone too far. You know?
Well, yeah. There's a reason why they make buses stop right before and open the door and look. And it's because a bus driver did stall out on the tracks because he didn't look. And then a bunch of kids died. So you really can't do that. It's the one thing that every kid would probably know that your bus driver is supposed to do that he just didn't do because he was annoyed with kids.
I understand safety and everything, but I find it odd that school buses have to stop and open the door to make sure there's no trains coming.
I don't remember exactly.
Nobody's going to run out that door fast enough.
I don't think anybody, because they're not stopping on the tracks. They're stopping right before the tracks. But they want to make sure that the bus driver sees and hears the train.
Hears the train.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's roll down your damn window.
Yeah.
Well, from both sides. He's got a window to his left, but to his right would be the door.
To his right, it's the door. So
I'm pretty sure you could hear through that one window.
You say that, but the thing with that, I forget all the details. If the kids would
shut up,
but that story, part of it was the bus driver couldn't hear the train. So like they're just like, no, listen for it, look for it before you do anything. And stopping on the tracks is obviously a massive violation of that.
So one of the parents says, it sickens me to know that my child could have died that day, and the school does not seem to be taking this as seriously as I feel they should.
Hey, what do you want to do? You want to put the bus driver stocks out in the front of the school so everybody can ridicule him, what a bad guy he was? Or, here's an idea. Maybe your kid should shut up when he's on a bus.
This is the thing.
Raise better children.
We don't know what kids were and weren't. That's the issue. Is like there could be 25 annoying kids on a bus, and 5 of them are okay, actually. But the 20 risk the lives of 5 kids who are just doing their thing. Somebody's got to be like just an average kid that wasn't doing anything.
So, the fact that, when the kids were freaking out, he yelled, quiet. The quiet was the first thing on his mind, which means that's a bus full of loud kids. Full of loud kids.
And there's not one exception on the whole bus. I just find that difficult.
Oh, the hell with that nerd. Anyway,
that's what I'm saying. That nerd didn't do anything wrong.
You know what, Keon? That's why he opens that door, because the nerds sit in the front and they can get out and they'll survive.
Smart kids will get out.
Yeah, sure. I just, I don't know. I mean, I understand. That's all I'm saying.
I do too. Yeah.
Yeah, we were, when I was playing sports as a kid, I was standing there holding court, being funny, and the next thing I knew, I was flying. He hit the brake so damn hard, and we were on the Pacific Coast Highway when he did it. I don't know if you know, but that's a very dangerous road that goes all the way from San Diego up to Seattle, and also the Pacific Coast Highway up in Oregon, extremely curvy and dangerous.
Oh yeah.
He brake checked me on a curvy, dangerous road. Did I tell?
He had had enough.
Because if I told, my parents have been like, "What did you do?" And I'm like, "Oh,
that's right."
It's just on a bus full of kids. There are going to be kids who are exceptions that don't deserve to have themselves terrified to death by being stopped on train tracks.
I mean, of course, there's going to be kids on there that don't deserve it, but what about the majority of the kids that do deserve it?
Well, the thing is, if his plan had gone wrong, if the bus had stalled out there on those train tracks, the majority of the kids and all of the kids that didn't deserve it and the bus driver himself, all gone.
Collateral damage. You got to do what you got to do.
I'm not okay with that.
They're going to be paying attention and they'll get the hell off the bus.
Here's the other part.
I don't know that that's the case either.
Stay on the tracks.
Because the bus was working just fine. I've lived in some places with some dubious buses. I'll just say that. And the bus stops and you don't know if the bus is going to move again. The idea that you would just stop on the train tracks.
It's no fun. Keon's just no fun.
The only time I rode on a bus, like you, Jeffrey, was at sports. And we were going to a game or coming home from a game. And we had a bus driver one time, and he was particularly grouchy. Perhaps he had a long day. And we were coming home from a game. And of course, we had won this game. And so all the guys on the bus were maybe a bit rowdy. He pulled off the side of the road, stopped, shut the engine off, got out of the bus, and went out and lit a cigarette while we were trying to figure out what the hell was going on. And he finished his cigarette. He came back in. He said, "Are you guys done yet?" And we got the picture pretty quick. And he got behind the wheel and took us back to the school. And we were very quiet from there on out. So
I have an even better one for you. I just remembered this. I mean, this just came back to me. This was actually, it was a church bus driver. And I think the reason he did it is he knew he was right with God. Here's what he did. We were making all sorts of noise going to some camp or something. And we're in the back and he's like, "You guys stop it. Quiet, quiet." We didn't listen. Finally, at one point, he stood up, got out of his seat while the vehicle was moving and he walked about 2 seats back. Like he was like, "Yeah, I told you to be quiet." We all started, drive the bus. Now, of course, he did this on probably a straightaway, but still scared the living bleep out of us. And this guy was like, he's like, I'm probably going to heaven. So I'll take you bastards with me. That was the scariest thing I ever saw.
We're going to meet our creator tonight.
Yeah, he just literally got up out of his seat and started walking to us.
Wow,
that was worse than getting brake checked.
See, that's the way it was back in the day.
Yeah. So when you see something like that and you see how kids are acting, you can kind of understand. But all right, he deserved to be fired. But then this brings me to the judge. He must be like from our line of thinking, Randy.
All right.
Because the judge has ruled that John Morant acted in self-defense against that teenager. The teenager that he beat up. I don't get that. The judge's like, "We're good here. No, you're fine. Yeah, it was self-defense. You're okay. You're off the hook."
I read the story again to make sure that I was not missing anything.
Yeah.
I still don't understand that ruling.
So here's what happened. So there was a pickup basketball game. And this kid was frustrated because you're getting beat by an NBA player. I don't know what you expected, kid.
Right.
And he was accused of throwing a one-handed pass at Morant during a check ball situation. The ball hits Morant in the face, after which Morant said this teenager took a step towards him, and so he stepped forward and punched the kid in the head. And then after that, his friend punched the kid too. He was arrested for that, the friend, and then they dismissed the charges. So he got off the hook too. So that was the story. Didn't John Morant also go home and get a gun or something? Was that in this?
Yes. I don't know if it was this incident, but yes.
I don't know. Yeah, that's the thing is there were a couple of incidents, so I don't know which one this one is.
So this judge must have been on that bus with me, or Randy. Yeah. So, but anyway, he's off the hook then, I guess, right? So that's the end of it.
Yeah. Judge basically said it was self-defense. Now I find it's crazy to me because, like, if you're that kid's parent, to basically hear the judge rule that your kid is just got bad vibes and so was justified in being punched in the forehead is
your kid is a dick. The judge said that Morant enjoys a presumption of civil immunity under Tennessee's self-defense immunity statute, and the burden of proof shift to the teenager and his legal team to prove that Morant did not act in self-defense. That is the legality of the whole thing.
So if they have any actual evidence, it's an event that happened in the past.
Why did Morant's friend jump in though? That's what I want to know.
Why did he jump in?
Yeah, why did he jump in?
He was in the neighborhood.
Couldn't John take care of his own business?
He did. He punched him in the face, and then the friend was like,
him in the face, but then John Morant's friend punched him.
Yeah, then the friend was like, "Here, have one for me too."
Mr. Wilbur says, I think it's time for Blender remote so I can maybe punch Jeffrey in the head. You can certainly try. We'll do that.
You let me know when it's happening so that I can ask him to make me some popcorn wherever we're having remote, so I can.
Yeah. We'll play Marco Polo.
Marco
Polo.
Marco Polo.
I like my chances, Wilbur. Historian says losing a hockey team. Well, that's pucked up. Yeah, that's going to be a 2-minute penalty on Historian.
Yeah,
for punting. Yeah. So anyway, Big George is a lot of things, which you maybe do or do not know. Is Big George is a lawyer. He used to be a prosecutor. Now he's he's a sellout corporate lawyer.
But he's a prosecutor. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Okay.
He says, sounds like that John Morant judge got paid off. Corrupt judges. That's nothing new. Really was not the direction I thought he'd go with that.
Mm-hmm.
But true. There is so much corruption in the courts, whether it is a judge or people who work with the courts. Oh, the fix is in, my friends. The fix is in. Good luck getting real justice in Arizona or any other place. It's bad out there. Your best bet, settle.
Yeah.
I mean, not like with a speeding ticket. That's
especially if somebody has much deeper pockets than you. It's you're just not going to be able to spend your way to justice.
Keep your head down, stay out of trouble. That's all I can say. Listen, we have to take a break. When we come back, we have On This Date and Big George's sports history and some other stuff. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every home run, every hit, every inning, every play, from the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a walk-off grand slam or a base hit to center field, whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem or wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342.
What's keeping you from learning the language you've always wanted to speak?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make learning fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. And in 10 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons are designed to get you having real conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
That's not long.
It's not hard.
It's perfect.
It starts here. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Imagine your team always looking and feeling their best in high-performance technical workwear. Cintas can make it happen. They have garments for almost every job imaginable. And with the Cintas Workwear program, you get freshly laundered garments delivered every week for everyone on your team. Great garments without the bother of laundry. That's a real perk for employees. Find out how Cintas can boost team image and morale. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Screen time's over.
Be home by 11?
Put your phone down while we're eating.
When parents set boundaries, keep track of where their kids go, and talk to them about the dangers of underage drinking and drugs, they keep their kids safe. Visit TalkNowAZ.com. Be the influence. Talk early. Talk often. Talk now.
Thanks. Thank you.
Muchas gracias.
This message is sponsored by the Substance Abuse Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
1580 The Fanatic.
And at 1580thefanatic.com.
Your home for sports.
Hey, Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. So the Diamondbacks game, I think, is starting up right now. You guys going to watch the Suns later? You going to watch the Suns Clippers game? I think that'll be worth watching. Coyotes and Kraken.
Should have taken that bet with Donnie.
What was the bet with Donnie?
Wizards, Timberwolves.
Oh, what's going on? Are they winning?
Second quarter, but the Wizards are up 47-30.
Wow.
17 points.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
The Wizards.
Hey, listen, I know you don't want the Wizards to win, but we really do.
Oh, no, the Wizards have absolutely clinched top three. Doesn't matter what they do from here on out. They will be picking somewhere near the top of the lottery with the same odds as the other two
As soon
teams.
as they get robbed, San Antonio will get the first overall pick again.
I mean, that's not going to be a robbery. San Antonio is very much in that same conversation.
Oh,
so
please.
Listen,
they are just as bad.
If the Timberwolves lose to the Wizards, that just proves my Donnie is cursed because of his karma.
Well, that's
because he always hates on everything, and then his stuff will never win.
You got Anthony Edwards out there playing well, and nothing happening else.
Ken, I don't want to jinx anything, but your Washington Nationals. Just going to say that. Washington Nationals.
What about them?
I don't want to say any more than that. But
well, they're off to a better start than they were last year.
Washington Nationals, Keon.
They've won 4 games so far this year.
Oh, damn. Now you're doing it. See,
I
didn't want to do all that.
Well, no, last year it took them 2 weeks to win 4 games. So I'm happy enough as it is.
Well, Diamondbacks only have 4 games too, but they're at least up 1-0 over the Rockies right now. So that's happening. That's good.
Very good. Good start.
So let's see here. Big George wants you all to know that he was just kidding about the John Morant corruption thing. I wasn't kidding about it, but he might have been. Let's see. The text line buttons. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. All of my buttons are not working. I mean, every single button I have isn't working. All right, fine. Hey, remember Coach Monty
Yes.
Williams?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And, things are bad in Detroit.
Yeah.
Do they have the worst record still?
I believe so. Yes.
They had a 28 game losing streak at some point in the season. How many games have they won? Like
13.
13?
4.
Okay.
Mhm.
And so now they're thinking, well, maybe they need to move on from Monty there. But the thing is, Monty has already said, you're not buying him out. He's like, I'm here to work. I'm here to do this. I need some time. And well, the owner might be like, I've made a mistake. So, yeah, there's no reason Monty would give up $78.5 million.
I was going to say making him the highest paid coach in the NBA this season.
So then they would come to him and say, hey, how about a buyout? Monty will say, no. Here's the buyout, $78.5 million.
Yeah, pay the rest of it then.
He's like, I wanted to take a year off.
They
and you
went to
talked me
him
into this.
Yeah.
So no. And so they're like, well, what do you guys want to do here? Do you want to eat the money and bring in another coach? Or do we just hang in with Monty and see what happens?
Be honest, I don't think it's Monty's fault.
Not even a little bit. No.
I think some of it is they are a worse team than they were last year.
No, I don't mean with the team.
Right.
He might not be doing a good job with that. Maybe he's just not that guy. I'm just saying it's not his fault
that he's here.
Yes.
Yeah, no, they threw the most money at him in the league and said, hey, we'll even pay for your wife's cancer treatments. No extra cost. Well, that doesn't even apply to your contract. So you'll get the money, we'll do the health care, you'll have all of it. And he said yes, because of course, how could you not?
So what do? They fire the GM and keep Monty because they have to, and then maybe a different GM comes in, wheels and deals, gets them some better players. I mean, how do you work around Monty at that point?
I think you got to let Monty do some work, man. I think you've got to let him. It's one season. You got to give him a.
Sorry, Diamondbacks up 2-0 on the Rockies.
Nice. Sorry, thank you. You got to give him at least 2 seasons to try to turn this thing around.
And I would say at least 3. It's a 6-year deal. Just let him try to do what you hired him to do.
I mean, you brought him in. It's not like you're missing anything, right? I mean,
well, I think Troy Weaver, you could get rid of him, but his new contract is going to kick in. He ain't going to do a buyout either. I don't know how much money he's making, but he's got a brand new contract as well.
There's a certain level of, look, you made your bed, just go ahead and lie in it, man. Like
they're going to have to lay in it.
You paid the guy $78.5 million for 6 years. You made him the highest coach in basketball, higher than guys who have won championships. You're paying him more than you're paying Greg Popovich. You're paying him more than the Heat are paying Eric Spoelstra. More than Steve Kerr is making down in Golden State. So roll with it. That was a decision you made. I assume for some reason. I doubt that you thought Monty was going to show up and double your wins. I hope not, because that was never realistic. And I think that would be unfair to ask of anybody.
So remember we gave the historian a 2-minute penalty for the pun. Yeah. Losing the hockey team is pucked up.
Mm-hmm.
He waited his 2 minutes and now he's back and says, I guess the team is telling us to stick it. Okay, that's going to be a 5-minute penalty.
5-minute major.
Yeah. So historian can text in he like in the last minute of the show.
Mm-hmm.
That's all he has left.
And by the way, historian, I've got my eye on you. If you come back and drop another pun, we're going to roll over to next show. You're not getting off the hook if you show back up in the last minute and drop another pun to get out of here.
Yeah, Keon's gonna write it down.
I will write it down, and we will start the show with you in the penalty box tomorrow.
King of Kitten says this is what the Pistons do. They disconnect her from the chemo machine and wheel her out to the curb.
I hope you never get to hire another coach after that.
That's a threat. Wow. Well, they've already promised the chemo, so they can't do that. That's just as much as like the contract.
I mean, that's right there. That's terrible.
Bet you all the players walk out. I wouldn't.
I think King of Kittens should be a GM.
For what it's worth, I think that would be a bad idea. You'd be a GM for about 24 hours.
I like his moxie.
If you do that,
like the cut of his jib. Huh?
You lose,
that's right.
You lose the team, and that's a very good way to get fired.
A man who will take a woman from her chemo and put her out on the sidewalk, that's a man who'll do anything for a team, anything for a win.
Yeah, that would be the problem.
It's like Jerry Jones hanging in with Jimmy Johnson all those years. I'll let you decide which guy is which. Anyway. Oh, hey, you remember Chiefsaholic?
I do. Yeah. He was the guy with the coyote head and
Yep.
sticking up banks. Yeah.
This is going to be a great movie someday.
Right.
I don't know
more
who is going to play the guy. I don't know who's going to play the lawyer. I think I've got some ideas of who could play that lawyer that came out and talked all that football nonsense. It
Yeah.
was funny. Well, now it gets even more interesting because that bank teller that he held up sued him civilly, and she just won a $10.8 million verdict against Chiefsaholic. Now, she knows he has no money. She knows he's not going to be paying that up anytime soon, because how do you collect on a judgment when the person has no money? And she turns to the camera and says, tell you one thing, any book or movie, he ain't getting money for it.
Damn. That was savage.
That is
there.
cold.
That
Oh, that is the
savage.
coldest thing I've ever heard. I love that.
That's how she will make her money. Because if I'm Chiefsaholic and they come to me for my story, in fact, they don't need him, by the way. But if they say, hey, if you do this, we'll give you, we'll pay her 10.8 million. We'll give you an extra couple million. Yeah, that way, at least you get something and she gets something. Everybody wins. But the
Wow.
most important thing is Peyton Garcia really wins. She got 3.6 million for physical harm and emotional distress and 7.2 in punitive damages. And so 10.8 million. If this turns into something, she's sitting there just like, I'll wait.
Yeah.
That's like buying land and waiting for it to get valuable.
Yeah.
That is a
Wow.
smart lady.
Good for her.
But I'm also looking forward to seeing that movie. You know, that's going to be fun.
It really will be.
You can, you know, there's enough in there. You don't have to dramatize it, but just a little bit of dramatizing makes it even better. You know what I'm saying? So based on a true story type stuff.
I've seen some of those movies really try to be what this could be and not really do it very well. This could be something really interesting, funny, weird. Like you could go a number of different directions with this. I'm excited. I'm excited too.
Yeah, I think it's a comedy. It's got to be a comedy, like a dark comedy. And I mean, all these characters, I mean, it just gets better and better. So yeah, I
thought it peaked at the lawyer, but apparently not.
There's more to come. There's more to come. Ralph from Harmon Solar says, just want to let you know the Dodgers are up 6-0 on the Twins. That is all. Yeah, nobody cares, Ralph. Nobody cares about your stupid Dodgers. How are the Dodgers doing right now?
They're in
Even
first
though I don't
place
care about them.
in the West, first place in the West.
Yeah. How many teams have they won?
They've won everything they've played. Basically.
Seriously?
Yeah.
They haven't lost a game yet?
They've lost, I think, 1 or 2 games.
But the series, they
keep
won
winning
those.
all the series.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
That sucks a lot.
They're 9-4.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is the time of year you want to be hot, Ralph. This is the time of year. Get what you paid for in the first week of the season. That's all the crap I can talk. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's true.
Sometimes it's like that.
We'll see. We'll see you in September. We'll see where things are then. That's all that matters. At least now at least we can beat the Colorado Rockies. At least we can beat them.
Well, we didn't last night. We did not last night.
I mean, last night.
Last night we lost 7-5 to the Rockies.
It's not about last night. Shut up. It's about right now. We're up 2-0.
All right.
Ralph's listening. Be quiet.
Yeah. The Mets are currently suffering, and that's where my heart is.
Ralph
Watching
has
that
crabs. Ralph has crabs says, how about the Diamondbacks taking a lead over the Rockies? You know, Ralph, the Diamondbacks are the defending National League championship, not the Dodgers.
There it is.
It's true. I
So
think
it's
they got
just-
swept by somebody last season.
Yeah, something like that.
You lost to the Diamondbacks, Seth. Your team is a pile of crap. You lost to the Diamondbacks, Seth. Your team is a pile of crap.
There you go. King Kitten says, I miss how the sunset used to shine on Phil's face. Suck it, Ralph. I don't understand that connection.
I don't either. I think those were two unrelated ideas that were just joined together in one run-on sentence. Because I have no
sunset shines on Keon's face too.
doesn't like my face. You like Phil's face.
I guess maybe you like Phil's face for a different reason. Filthy Phil. Ralph from Harmon Solar says they name needs to be changed ASAP.
They name.
Is he trying to be all fancy? They name need THAY. They name needs to be changed ASAP.
Is he?
Hear
is he
ye,
typing in
hear
the,
ye.
the King's English? Is he? Thy name needs to be changed.
That dude was willing, Ralph. He was willing, and
Yeah.
you blew it by being mean to him. You could have had him change his name. Day one, he offered.
Yeah, he was willing.
And you just crapped all over him. A fellow Seahawks fan.
Crapped right on him.
Who is also now confused that you somehow also like the Rams.
Crapped all over him. Hey, on this date in Big Georgia sports history, don't play the music, but back in 1959, Dr. Creighton Hale recommended Little League pitching mounds be moved back from home plate by 24 inches. They said that would be the ball thrown by some kid at 70 miles an hour from 46 feet would give the batter about the same amount of time to swing a pitch as proportionately as a major leaguer would.
That's correct.
That's when they decided that, 1959 on this date. So there you go, George. Ralph Has Crabs says, I'm not going anywhere, Ralph. I'm here to stay. I'm a Seahawks fan. And Ralph from Harmon Solar says, Ralph has crabs. Oh, I think I don't know. Are you trying to tell us something?
He's saying that's the name that needs to be changed.
Or that he has crabs.
Oh.
See you guys tomorrow, 3 p.m., Daily Blender.